Two, one. All right, live on the stream. Sunday evening. Good morning, y'all. For some of you guys waking up from Saturday night's festivities, good evening. Those of you joining, got Mama Mario with me. He's actually in Santiago. Funny enough, I leave Santiago, and that's where he goes. So, that's how it happens. But second live stream coming to you from Brazil, but we're talking Dominican Republic. Special shout out to Mario joining us here tonight to give us some more advice and input on what driving is like in the Dominican Republic and car buying. So we're gonna let this beat build a little bit, get you guys some time to come in, share this link, drop a comment, let me know who's here with me. Rod, thank you for being here. Definitely. We can't keep Mario on too long, guys, for like 5 hours like last time. So make sure you guys get your questions in, whatever you want to say.
Adult beverages after this.
Oh, yes. Adult beverages. Well, we're going to church.
Yeah, I got to come to Brazil, man. That's definitely on my bucket list. If I had one other place where I would think it'd be as fun as DR, right? Because the people think like it's a big world. It's a huge world, but when you really narrow down, like, when you're like, well, warm weather, a festive environment, right? The places that I can think of off the top of my head are DR, Thailand, and like Brazil. Those are like the only three places, because some other places I might just be bored out of my mind, right?
Right. No, Brazil, bro, the way you have a ball in DR, you'd have a basketball court here in Brazil. You'd be.
I need a vacation soon. I've been working nonstop since I came out of the pandemic, and then being here for the pandemic. Even though I can say it was better than my friends in New York. They're like, oh, you guys had it good. You were in a pool. It was sunny. Yeah, but we were on lockdown so much stricter for so much longer than like New York, for example, where I'm from. That it was like, yo, you came out of that with PTSD, bro. You came out of that. I came out like 30 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever, fatter, stressed out, traumatized. I gotta go home. Like it just, because in the States, they never did like toque de queda, right? They can close bars, they can close certain things. But I mean, we went to jail if we were outside. So that shit fucks you up like almost 2 years of that, year and a half or whatever. I don't even remember how long it was. We came out of that fucked up. And then now that I'm, here, like I've been working nonstop since I came out of that. So I'm going to Colombia soon. My boy invited me, and then I'm going to hit, I definitely got to hit Brazil. But like I'm going to Brazil for like 2 weeks. Don't bother me. I'm off the grid.
Yo, speaking of PT, that's funny you mentioned that, because I think it's because of the pandemic, going through the pandemic in DR. That's what made me such a homebody today, because it was like, all right, you go outside after 5, we're going to throw you in jail. Pfft, fuck that. I'll stay at the crib. I got no problem. Till this day.
Well, that's one thing. That's one thing. Like both my apartments that I have right now, the Santo Domingo, Santiago, I love the apartments, bro. I can stay home. I invite friends over. I can stay home by myself and drink or just do nothing, watch TV, play video games. I become like and that's why it's really important when you find out a place, right? Whether you're renting or buying, especially if you're buying, is to find a place that it's so cool that sometimes dude, if I don't have to go to work, I won't come out of my house for 2 days. And I'm cool. I'm comfortable. I'm chilling. I don't get bored or anything. But yeah, definitely, I think the pandemic had a lot to do with that. With like those of us that lived it down here.
Yeah, definitely.
We came out of it different. We came out changing, whether we know it or not.
Yeah, man. But whenever you're ready to hit up Brazil, let me know. I'm going to be in Brazil until about beginning of October. Then I'm going to be in between Colombia for like the rest of the year after that.
Yeah, once I get everything straightened out, work here, that I can like fly out a little bit more. I really need to start making like every 3 months, 2 to 3 months. I need to either like Brazil or Colombia. Just, it's good to get out. Like, I know I live where people vacation, but when you're in a place, like, it's good to just get away. You always, you get to appreciate what you have when you leave. You know what I mean? And you come back and you're just like, okay.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Russell went to Cuba for his birthday, and he came back looking 10 years younger. He's been living in DR since 2018. So it's definitely
he's been driving here. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna get into driving. But if you guys are in this stream, drop a comment. Let me know who's here with me, and if you'll be watching after. Sorry we missed you, but we're gonna drop some great jewels for y'all. Mario's gonna drop his Instagram for anybody looking for an apartment or just want to get in contact with him. Any contact that you need in Santo Domingo or Las Terrenas or Santiago or wherever Mario goes around the island, that is your man. But let's start off the show. All right, so on tonight's episode of Chop About TV, we're going to go to a little bit somber route and talk about the Dominican Republic, not the beaches, not the presidentes, not the mujeres, but what most of us have to end up doing when we come out here, and that's the driving. So Mario, for those of the people who are watching right now that don't know you, can you give yourself a brief introduction, please, and tell them how long you've been living in the DR?
Okay, so I'm from New York City. I grew up in DR number two, so for me it was a little bit easier when I came down here. It wasn't like I came on vacation and oh wow, DR's cool. I grew up with Dominicans in New York. I was going to see Anthony Santos and all this when I was like 20 years old, whatever, 21, 22. I was out there doing my thing, with Dominicans when I was younger. So when I came out here the first time and linked out with some of my people that I knew from New York, I was like, oh, okay, well this is just kind of like everything's different than New York, but the culture, the food, the music, everything was the same. So there was no culture clash for me. That's all my boys were Dominican, so it was just like we're going where they're from. I've been coming here to Santiago since 2003, and I've been living. I'm on my sixth year living here. So I did 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and now it's my sixth year. So at one point, I think at the end of this year, I complete 6 years. I lost track, something like that.
All right, so you got six
And
years living in the Dominican Republic.
5 and change. Yeah, I'm on my sixth year right now. So yeah. And then I was always coming back and forth since 2003. I've been back and forth. I had a business here in Santiago in 2010. I was married here before, got divorced, and then decided to stay full. Like when I broke up with the wife, I was like, I'm not going back to the States. So, I'm already living out here. So I opened up my real estate company because I have one in New York, and that's what I always did, real estate, right? So I just was like, all right, let me just rock what I do normally, and boom, that was it.
Right. For those of you who don't know, Mario does own his own real estate company in the Dominican Republic. Like you just heard, the man is from New York City. Queens of the house. Shout out to Queens. Shout out to everybody watching from the States. Make sure you guys go watch the last live we did where we got into real estate, when we got into buying, when we got into renting, when we got into everything you need to know for those of you who are looking to go down and live in the Dominican Republic. Mario's your man. It was a great live. Spoke about houses, apartments, doorknobs, marriages, divorces, the whole nine. It was great. So you being from New York and moving to DR, you have driving experience about from probably the top 5 most hectic places to drive in the world. Which is worse to you, driving in New York City or driving in the Dominican Republic?
Different reasons, different places. Like I find driving in New York is worse because you're in like fucking the traffic of your life, 3, 4, 5 hours. I was actually stuck in that snowstorm a few years back where it took me like 10 hours to get home. It was like a massive snowstorm a couple of years ago that shut down New York City. What do you call that? I don't know how many years ago it was, but anyway, and I got stuck in that. I was like traumatized from that. But like New York City is like endless traffic, and I suffer from my anxiety. You can tell I'm kind of hyper and shit. So imagine me on the BQE on the Grand Central somewhere, and now I'm stuck in just bumper to bumper traffic. Bro, I gotta piss, I gotta shit, I gotta do everything. I can't get to a toilet. I can't, like, I start bugging out, right? So on that end of it, traffic is horrendous in New York because it's just never ending. If you've got to go from South Brooklyn down in Coney Island and you live uptown like my business partner does, and he finished showing an apartment down there, it is 2 hours and change of like just bloody hell. But the traffic here, like in Santo Domingo, you could be shit traffic, and I'll just be like, man, I'm pulling over in a bomba, I'm grabbing a beer. Fuck this shit. I'll take a shit and grab a beer, and I'll feel better. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why it's better here when it comes to that. What's harder here, it's funny. Somebody right now just commented, and you saw the video that I put up in that Facebook groups, right? Somebody was like, "Oh, great information, but you're kind of rude calling people savages." I was like, honestly, if you drove here as much as I would, you would think savages. Actually, I'm being really nice to explain to how people drive. I don't know what it is. The nicest person in the world here, they get behind something that has a motor, whether it's a car or a motorcycle, and it's all of a sudden it's like James Bond on crack. I don't know what the fuck is going on, like John Wick on heroin, speed, and everything, speedballing or whatever. It's a complete lack of, not only is it a lack of self safety, right? Like not lack of caring for yourself and whether you live or die, which is like, hey, you want to kill yourself? I don't give a shit. But it's also for the other people that are around you, like they're not aware of your surroundings of what's going on. And the reason I posted a video the other day, because I was a little pissed off, I'm a little, maybe more, somebody that I knew passed away. I found out from the news, watching it on the news, and she was on her way to the airport to work because she worked in the airport in Las Americas. And what the news said, when the article explained it, I know exactly what happened because I see it 100 fucking times a day, and I saw it even coming up here to Santiago. I was like so conscious of it because it just happened to somebody that I was just like, you're an asshole, you're an idiot, you're a fucking idiot, like as I'm driving, right? What do you call it? How I don't know if you lived here, so like how people just like sometimes they'll just break down, the car will break down or whatever the case may be,
And
and they just stop in the lane, in the highway.
The
We're taught outside of here that get the car off the highway, somebody's going to hit it. I mean, we've seen this a million times. We know whether you have lights, cones, doesn't matter. If you're on a high-speed highway, right, which like these are Las Americas, Duarte, going to Punta Cana, these are highways, right? They're not slow roads. But even in slow roads, it happens. But you cannot have your car, or even partially. You've seen that when they pull over on the side of the road and like a quarter of their butt of the car is there. You clip it, that's it. Everybody dies, right? So that's what happened to her. She hit a car that was in the lane of the highway, and she passed away like that. You know what I mean? And it could have been prevented because this person was probably a fucking idiot. Leaving there. If she goes to work at 5 a.m, it said she left the house at 5 a.m. So obviously, you know that it was during the dark hours of the morning that it happened.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's what it is.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that because I myself have told people like, listen, there's idiots here behind cars. What people don't understand is that in the Dominican Republic, right? Money talks. So there's people out there who either go to buy their license, and there's people out there who are driving. I want to say, what do you think about this number? I want to say about 50% of the country, people do not have their licenses.
It could very well be. The more I have problems with this word, rural. The more rural it gets, right? The more rural the town, the less people are probably on it. The cops know each other. Everybody knows each other, whatever. And a license here is like, I don't know how to. I don't even know what to say. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have a license, because the people that have the license, a lot of them paid, especially before the government changed. I know personally. I'm not gonna, I ain't dry snitching on nobody, but people that pay for their license, you can pay and get your license. That wasn't a problem. Bribing them. And we know from just in general, anywhere in the world, just because you got a license doesn't mean you're a good driver. Okay, you're able to fool the guy for 15 minutes, right? But what happens is the minute people here start to drive, and I understand, the when in Rome, do as the Romans do, right? You've got to be an aggressive driver. I do shit here that if I did it in New York, I'd get 47 tickets, 5,000 points, and I'd be done. But I got to do that to survive. There's a difference between fitting in here and just doing some wild shit. I mean, if you look at that page I sent you, Accidente Serede, the shit that happens here is like, it's not normal, right? And that's where the word savage comes from, because you're just kamikaze. I've seen videos of people dying just because they just didn't want to hit the brakes. They could have saved their own lives, maybe the life of somebody else, and they just won't hit the brakes. And it's irrational. It's common sense. But there's this thing, and I don't know, like you have a cloaking shield or an invisible shield in Star Wars or something where the blasters don't get you. What's the shield at 87%, Captain? I don't know. I will never understand it. When you drive up to Jarabacoa, for example, or you drive up to Constanza, and you're going up that narrow road. If you've ever been up there, bro, it's basically a 1.5 way. And these trucks, these guys are coming up the wrong way. They're in your lane. I cannot tell you. I have to say, I'm not even exaggerating. If I have almost at least 1,000 head-on collisions a year, because even when I drive now, just going to Santiago, from Santiago to Santo Domingo, I almost, and people think I'm joking because I'm always bugging out and whatever, right? I almost die 2 to 3 times every time I take the highway here. And I'm just keeping it real. That's just part of I understand that's what it is here. That when I get in my house, like tomorrow morning, I'm going to Santo Domingo. Every time I get in my car when I'm leaving into the city, I'm like, this might be my last day here, because I'm very well aware that my last day might come on the highway. And seeing what happened to the people that two people in the last 8 months that I know that died in car accidents, And you start to see that, and you see all the stuff on the road. You see, I follow all the stuff also, like Digital, and you get to see, like, this guy went into the woods, and that guy crashed in. Look at that fire he crashed in. There's 2 deaths over here, and then you have 5 hurt, but nobody died here. And a lot of it can be prevented, if everybody just took it down a little bit, because I see it, like, driving from Santo Domingo to Santiago, right? And you're on Autopista Duarte, you're in a K5, Chinese car with Chinese tires. You're doing 120 miles an hour, you know what I mean, coming up a curva, and you got potholes everywhere. And then you wonder how the guy ends up wiping out another car and ends up in the woods somewhere, right? I mean, I don't wonder how. I know exactly what happened because I see it all the time.
It's funny you mentioned that. I don't think, and forgive me, guys, if I sound a little bit rude saying this, there's no common sense when it comes to motor vehicles in the Dominican Republic. We all hear the stories about the motorcycles. We hear the stories about the trucks, but the cars, there's no common sense. So now imagine this, right? It's literally the Wild Wild West. Like Mario said, James Bond on speed, right? You're going to have people who have no idea how to drive, never took the driving classes. You're going to have idiots, children, drinkers, people in a rush to go nowhere. People that don't even know brakes exist. Like somebody pricks a brake by accident, like, what the hell is this thing that's slowing down my car? It's a sad case. And I'm gonna show a few clips from accidents every day, because for me it's stupidity. There's nothing else besides it, because one owner was On a tiny little island of Dominican Republic, right? You see all these accidents, you hear about all these deaths. So and so died, or this and that, or this car flipped over. You would think people would wisen up, be like, maybe I should slow the fuck down on making a right turn from the left lane, or cutting across traffic. I don't know if in Santo Domingo they have the little carritos, like the little taxis that pick everybody up.
You're talking about the conchos, like the beat up like a Corolla from like 1979 that's got like half a door picking everybody up. Yeah.
Yep, those. You see, when you're driving, you could be in the middle lane, left lane, right lane. They'll just stop, or they could be in the left lane. They'll cut right across everybody just to pick up one passenger.
Bro, that's how people die. They hit it. They stop on the middle of a highway. They stop on the middle of a boulevard like Kennedy or 27, where there's like traffic flowing, and the guy coming up at 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour behind you. Yo, dude, that's it, bro. That's it. Life's over. Somebody's dead right there, man, or somebody's maimed for life. Like that happens all the time. You know, the whole thing, like you said, like this guy comes into I've been in my car sometimes and I'm like, yo, y'all gotta be fucking kidding me right now. I got one guy squeezing me in here, another guy tailgating me in the back, another guy coming into the lane. There's no people don't know how to stay in lane. Like the lane, I'm not even joking, bro. Like there's times I'm like, come the fuck on, man. Like the lanes here are just a suggestion. People to have somebody halfway into your lane is as normal as apple pie, bro. 1,000 times a day, bro. Like if I drive from here right now to Santo Domingo, most of the cars are not going to be in their lane. They're all like halfway into mine. They float into mine. When I pass people at a high rate of speed, I have to be like, I'm coming. Watch me. I'm on your right side. I'm on your left side.
You know, I could get used to honking my horn. Like, all right, guys, I'm crossing at a green light. It's my light. Green lights are not safe in the Dominican Republic, but I'm gonna start sharing some of these clips from these accidents so you guys could start seeing how ridiculous it gets, right? And we're going to talk about some of the cars that are being bought that aren't fit to be on the road. But here we are in Santo Domingo, actually, right? And I don't want to even say, you can't even call these accidents, because driving in the Dominican Republic, you have to call these things.
And look at what car it is. Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. You have to call these things negligence. These are not accidents. And I want you guys to pay attention to something Mario said. Mario said that when he leaves the house, basically, and he gets behind his car, he basically has to come in terms of, okay, I might die today. And that's real talk, yeah. Every day I got behind the wheel of my car, I had to accept the fact that, okay, I must make peace with it. I might die today driving in this country.
Is it like that in Brazil?
No. In Brazil, you gotta, on the highways, you drive fast, but people keep their lanes. You don't have none of that dumb shit going on where everybody cutting each other across, or trucks driving down the wrong lane.
I had a truck tire blow as I'm crossing in Highway 5 by Playa Grande, going between Nagua and like going towards like Nagua from Sosua, right? A tire blew. So as I'm just, again, the shit luck that happens. I mean, I drive a lot, so things are gonna happen, right? As I'm driving one way, he's coming the other way, and as his front tire is like coming up right here, the entire truck tire blew out, and I'm like, boom! I'm like, oh, held the car straight. I pulled over. I'm like, no, it's nothing. It was his tire. Because what happens here on these big giant trucks, nobody changes the tire until it blows out.
Yep. Negligence. They're not accidents, guys. They're negligence. Mario spoke about brakes, right? Let's look at this. Perfect example of people not knowing how to use their brakes. Brakes, what are those? Look at this. You got a Honda, and they tail.
Bro, they tailgate. Yo, I got to get out of the way, bro. They tailgate like crazy. Yo, they do it to get you to leave. Like they do it on purpose. They're like, yeah, you're in my way. But meanwhile, it's like, where are you rushing to, bro? But meanwhile, one guy's tailgating you because he wants to go faster, but then the guy in the left lane is doing 37 miles an hour.
Look at this, yeah. This is the example of tailgating. This is just tailgating right here. This is just a Honda wanting to be up a truck's ass, because this is how you drive in the Dominican Republic. I drove with a Dominican and they told me, listen, you're driving wrong. There's too much space in between you and the car in front of you. You need to get closer to them.
Yup. Huh? No, sorry, I was just looking at the email because I'm working also. So
Now,
don't mind me. If
now,
my camera goes out, I can hear you. It's just that I'm working on a deal, so it's no
now
big
I
deal.
was saying hug to the statement that so, and it's not normal for you to have, like, we all learn when you're driving, you need to have at least a space of another car in front of you before the actual car, all that stuff. Now in the Dominican Republic, you need a big ass seat. You need to be like this, at bumper to ass for the other car. If they break so well, as you can see what happened here with this little Honda. This is just tailgating, nothing to do with braking. It's just tailgating, or what you think, a truck stop. Either way, these aren't accidents. These are negligence. These are just negligence. I'm gonna go through one more of these before I go through the comments, just so you guys could have an idea of the danger, the stupidity here. Look at this. And these little tiny fucks that you don't see anywhere else besides the DR, like these little pizza box cars, don't get in those. There's no airbags, no safety features. It's literally a paper ball on wheels. Look at this. Look at this right here. Look, just one
Yeah,
hit.
man.
Just one hit. You Mario, these little matchboxes that people like they love buying out here.
They're not real cars, right? So that was what prompted me to let me get back on anything. That's what prompted me to put the video the other day, because sometimes, I mean, look, man, sometimes there's nothing you can do. The way people drive here, and just in general, right? But the way people drive here, sometimes, that's it. It's it's a wrap, right? But what people don't understand, and I learned this also because I didn't know this when I first came here, right? So I'll tell you how I learned, right? At one point, I was going to get one of those K5s and get rid of my Ford Escape because, they're cool looking. They're like the Optima. I think they call them the Optima in New York or something like that. The Kia Optima in the States. They're dope. When you put rims on them, they look dope, right? But I was going to go buy at one point a new car for myself, a new SUV, when I had my Ford Escape, right? So I had a 2011 Ford Escape. Crap with full of airbags and, American standard crap, right? So I go to the Mazda dealer, the Mazda CX-5. It comes nicely loaded with what do you call it? It comes nicely loaded with like the all 7 airbags, all this shit like that. So I could tell it's kind of made to the U.S. standards, right? Then I go to Kia to see the Sportage, which I like the Sportage because I used to have one in New York, and it's nice, it was peppy and everything like that. I liked it a lot. And they're like, yeah, it comes with 2 airbags. I'm like, what? And if you pay 1,000 or 2,000 more, we'll put 2 more airbags. I'm like, that's it, 4? I'm like, what about the side curtain airbags? What about all that other shit for my passengers in the back and all that? I'm like, and the reason why I was asking about that, because like a week or 2 before that, I was in Los Prados in Santo Domingo, and a motorcycle guy, as we're crossing through one of the main avenues, he just one of the few times somebody used the brake, almost slammed into the door of where my wife was driving. My ex-wife, right? So I'm like, yo, you need side protection. Like the odds of getting hit in your door by a motorcycle or by somebody here are pretty high. I mean, it's almost happened to me massive amounts of times here. So it's like, yo, I need all the protection I can get. She's like, no, but they got like 2 crossbars in the door. I'm like, that's not an airbag, yo. That's not, like, you need cushioning, and all that shit. So what I started to like do research and stuff like that, and what I learned is that cars, for example, there's a Nissan called the Nissan Tigra. I think it looks like the Versa. I want to say Central Versa, whatever, in the States. It looks just like it, but it's called a Tigra. Now, if you look it up, in Mexico, like in the course of like 5 years, like 3,000 people died in that car because it's one of those cars that like at 25 miles an hour, if you crash, that's it. The whole shit's paper, the engine blocks in your chest. You know what I mean? So you have a combination of things. You have a combination of airbags, of lack of airbags, right? You have some cars that I was reading some reviews on, some Toyotas, that these cars are usually made, just so you guys know, they're made for like developing nations. They're made for India. They're made for Southeast Asia. They're made for Latin America, Africa. They're not made for Europe, because from what I understand, I could be wrong. I know US standards are high, but I think European standards are even higher as far as safety, right? Somebody was telling me that in one of the groups. So when they're not made for like in the United States, I even looked it up. Kia in the United States, I think it has like 6 or 7 airbags. That's curtain and everything. You can see it. It says it. When you look at the Kia Sportage and you look it up generally, it only comes with 2 airbags. It's 2 different versions of the car. So you have a couple of things. One, you have the airbag issue. Two, you have cars that are made and they look like a regular car, but they're not built the same underneath, right? It's like a fake Gucci, right? It looks like a Gucci, but it starts to tear up right away. You ever seen a fake Gucci belt? After the guy has it for like 3 months, that shit is rag tagged and everything. It's the holes are starting to rip and everything like that. So that's the way I can equate it. It's like you're buying fake Gucci, fake Prada, and it starts to rip. Fake Jordans, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody wears here all these like $20 Jordans and shit. What do you think gonna happen with a $20 pair of Jordans? Go try play ball in $20 pair of Jordans, $20 Jordans, right? The replicas. The shits are gonna rub off your feet. So it's the same standard with with the cars. People buy these cars that they don't know, like the K5s. It looks like the Optima, but it's not an Optima. If you ever seen one without their bumper, bro, I looked underneath. It just looks like there's nothing there, like just two poles. There's no safety stuff. And then a lot of times, foreigners, expats, whatever, come here, and they're just like, oh, honey, let's just buy a little small little Rio or Picanto or little Taito or whatever. Right, because they're like, yeah, let's just grab this car to go to the store, We don't really need much to go to the store. Yeah, but if you get hit by a fucking truck, you're dead. You're not coming back home. One of my coworkers, she bought a small car because she was in that budget. I told her to spend a little more on SUV. Didn't listen to me. But anyway, I would not let her buy a car that was not to U.S. standards. She bought a Hyundai Accent, a small car, right? So I always tell people, try to buy midsize and up here, right? Or SUV, at least midsize, you know what I mean? Something like an Altima, Honda Accord type, or whatever, right? But I helped her buy a US version full of airbags. When I went to look at some of the stuff she sent me, she's like, oh, Mario, can you look at this Kia for me, this Rio, this whatever? And I went to look at them, and I'm like, oh, this one only looked like it got one airbag, the driver's airbag. I see another one only got two, got nothing on the doors, nothing on the sides, nothing. I'm like, you're not buying this car, man. You know what I mean? And then she's pregnant now. So I'm like, what do you call it? Could you imagine I let her buy a car that doesn't have full airbags at least? You got to have at least 4, 6 or something. It's got to be made to US standards. That's it. You buy an imported used car from the States, or you buy something that's sold here, like Mazda, from what I saw, is to US standards. Some Toyotas, yes, some Toyotas, I believe they're not. If they don't have the brand in the States, then you got to really look into that. You know what I mean? Some SUVs have high rollover rates, right? Like, you ever seen the Toyota Fortuner or whatever? You could tell that thing will roll over in 2 seconds flat because it looks like a dinosaur standing on its legs. You know what I mean? It doesn't have any width on it, right? So anything that's high, think of like a monster truck, right? Anything that's high, right? High center of gravity, wheels are close together. That shit at 50 miles an hour. If you've got to do the moose test, because that happened to me. And I just remembered it now, right? I'll share this with you. I was coming from Santiago, and I was driving through Puerto Plata at 2 o'clock in the morning one time, 1 o'clock in the morning. Shit keeps happening to me at that time. And I was coming up, when you come down from Playa Dorada, and you're on your way up towards Sosua and the Star Hills up there and all that, you're going up. So my ex-wife is sleeping at that time. I'm driving. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I see a guy on the side of the road with his with a shirt, like he's waving it. Now, my first initial thing is like, somebody's trying to stick me up. I ain't touching my brakes for shit. Whoever's in front of me going to eat it right now, and that's it. All of a sudden, bro, holy shit, one cow bloodied on the road. I go swerve to miss the cow. 5 cows that was laying down next to her cow friends, whatever, all of a sudden get up, start running this way. I did I did the moose test. I don't know if you know what the moose test is. If you guys ever look it up, it's called the moose test. It's a test that they do. It's based out of Europe or whatever, because they have people die hitting moose and elk at night in like Sweden and these places, because it's always dark there during the winter, especially, right? So the moose test is you got to go with your SUV like this and try not to tip it over. This fucking Ford Escape, I don't know what happened. My ex-wife just woke up as it happened. I avoided the cow. As the other cow started coming up towards me and getting up, I avoided them and went around the bloody cow, and I survived. If I had any other car, I would not be here to talk to you about it today, probably, or maybe both of us, or maybe one of us. I don't know. So that's the reason why I think it's really important. I mean, being a good driver, luck, here, but if you're gonna, it's the same thing, Star Wars, right? If you're gonna go and fight the Empire, you might as well get an X-wing or something really nice. You don't want to be coming up in the hoopty going up against TIE fighters. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's toasted. Right. Exactly. So that's how I see it here.
And Mario brought up a great point. I wanted to we're gonna dive into that because that's the next one I want to get to, the size of the car you're driving. But when you guys go to live in the Dominican Republic and you buy your cars, you're not only having to fight against other stupid drivers, you're gonna have to fight against, okay, this highway doesn't have traffic lights or cows or people stop in the middle of the road or whatever. So it's a lot of factors that are basically outside of your control once you're driving. Cars have a lot to do with it. Let's get to the comments first before Mario talks to us, breaks it down on why exactly car size is different. So Ross says, my condolences. Thank you, Rob, for joining. Also, I agree. I visited first time 2 weeks ago. I'm old enough to understand that if you can easily be killed on those roads, it almost happened to us a few times. Man, you don't come you accept death quicker the moment you get in the car in Dominican Republic. You're just like, if it happens, it happens. At a point, I just became numb to it. As Carter was good. Make sure you guys are liking the video on your way in, please. Thank you. I appreciate that. He says, "How about trucks overtaking a car on a turnaround?" I have a video for that also. Javier was good, bro. 2 lanes equals 4 lanes in the Dominican Republic. On a small, there's streets there that have no business being two-way streets, and there's parking, and I'm just over it. Return from Boca Chica, you almost hit a police officer. Listen, the police aren't exempt from this anyway. They drive like idiots also. On the side of the road, we were like, what the fuck? The further up we saw an infant
Yeah.
sitting
Car
in a
flipped overs every day, bro. Every time I'm on the highway, there's a car flipped over somewhere, bro. That shit is like, that shit is like having a beer. Oh, car flipped over, cold beer, cool. That's everything's normal.
It was good. As Carter says, I now have a 4-year-old repeating the words "you fucking fuck" because he heard me say it so much. Listen, you create the most exquisite vocabulary when you're driving in Santiago or Santo Domingo. Big E was good. Elvis says, with all due respect, Mr. Mario, I've been driving all over the DR for more than 20 years. I have never been in an accident. I was born in NYC like you. I think you're exaggerating a bit. Elvis,
There's one person. Look, I respect it. There's always one person that wants to say, "Yo, I'm good. I've never been in it." I mean, you can look at the page of Accidentes there and see how many. They had to call one of my ex shorties. They had to call to have the video removed of her brother. I was here in the house. They called us to the hospital because he crashed into somebody that pulled out drunk out of a bomba right here in Santiago. I can give you 1,001 stories. I know 2 people that just died in the last 8 months. One used to manage my apartment building, right? And she had a Demio and the tire blew out and all this other stuff. We can say things like, "Hey, I had great luck." We could say that, right? I mean, you got the what do you call it? You got the video of my car, my Volvo, whole front crash, $19,000. My Reserva just paid it right now because a lady decided to run to the red, and I made the mistake of going through a green at 3:00 in the morning, right? Oh, I got a green light. That don't mean shit out here. So somebody can tell me like, "Yo, listen, man, I've had great luck. I've never been in an accident." I respect that, but you got to look at the numbers. We ain't making this shit up. It's like the most dangerous or one of the most dangerous countries on the planet to drive for fatalities. So the fact that John had great luck and Mary maybe didn't doesn't mean anything. You can look at Bávaro Digital. You can look at the local news that you follow. I live here, so I follow all news from here from the Dominican Republic, right? And every single day in Punta Cana now, because there are more people right now, right? In that little ditch in between the highways, every fucking day there's a car overturned at that Rotonda de Punta Cana and all of that. So I do respect when people say they haven't had luck and they haven't crashed yet. But to say that it is not one of the most dangerous places on the planet for accidents, for fatalities, for death on the road, that would just be untrue. That would be untrue. The numbers are there. The data's online, right?
top five, top five, maybe top 3. Look at this stupidity.
Sometimes it's
right
top
here.
1.
Look at the stupidity right here, right? You see this car pull out, and it's the truck drivers. I don't understand how you could put stupid people in positions of power, and not just talking politics. You put stupid people behind the wheel. What sense does this accident make? Please, somebody explain it to me. What?
Right. So that's what I'm trying to, and that's where I'm at. People sometimes, I have, and especially in the expat groups, right? I get a gringo here and there. Hey, I drive. I'm great. Don't worry. Everything's fine. Bro, people die all the time. I know people who lost their kids in car accident. I mean, again, the data is there, right? The one lady was like, "Oh, it doesn't look like it's that dangerous." I just looked up online and boom, it came up number 1. You know what I mean? So it's either number 1 or number 5 all the time, right? And on the entire planet, it was number 10, right, on the entire planet, because it's a small place. Remember, we have as many people in the Dominican Republic on record, the Dominicans, forgetting about the tourists, as we have in New York City. The 5 boroughs in the Dominican Republic have the same amount of people, right? So we're talking about a country that's the size of a state with the population of a major metropolis in New York City. We're not talking about the entire African continent. We're not talking about India, which is like a bazillion, quadrillion people or whatever the fuck it is over there, right? We're talking about a state with the amount of people in one giant city that's there. And you have these kind of fatalities per capita and stuff like that. And a lot of us, like those of us, I'll give you an example, those of us that are in the major cities, right? You're talking about somebody like me. So I'm in between Santo Domingo, Santiago, and Punta Cana. Those are the 3 major cities in this country, right? So my odds are higher than maybe the guy who lives in Cabrera, or maybe the guy who lives in San Francisco who's only around there once in a while. You get what I'm trying to say? My odds, or if you're like a person that drives for work, intercity, or whatever the case is, you're going to have a much higher odd. Like my friend that passed away, she had to drive to the airport from Santo Domingo Este down and onto the highway every single day. right, that she worked. When you do the stats and you look at the numbers of that spec of highway there, right, you can see how many fatalities and accidents they have just on that strip. I don't know if you remember during the pandemic, there was a couple that left Las Terrenas or whatever,
Yeah.
and they were going to the airport and they found them in the water. That same strip right there.
Yep.
So the thing is, I live here, so I know what shit is. I know where the strips are hard. Going into Jarabacoa, like before I went to Jarabacoa and Constanza, I could never understand. I used to see on the news head-on accident, crazy accidents, right? I never understood it until I went up there. It's a 1.5 lane, and people are flying down, coming head on, right? If you're going to Las Terrenas from Santo Domingo on the highway to Las Terrenas, there's that one part where you hit Los Haitises, right? You lose your reception. You're going through the mountains of Los Haitises, and everything is like this. Every single fucking day, there's a car off the road that crashes and tumbles into there because they're taking it at fast speeds. A lot of times it's raining a little bit in there because of the way the lush garden, the lush is, the greenery and all that. And then you're guaranteed to have, every single day, you're guaranteed to have a motherfucker hit the, wipe out over there because they drive like that on that road. So I do appreciate people having luck. And I wish I had that luck. Besides minor little things, I never had anything until this lady ran the red light. 19,000. If I didn't have full coverage on my car, I'd be 19,000 out of pocket right now. And I didn't do nothing. I went through the green.
And your car definitely helped you out here. In this video, this is another Hyundai, right? In this video right here.
Let's see. It's all Hyundai. Most of them are Hyundais. The K5s, the Y20s. That's a Beamer right there. That's a late model Beamer, and I don't know what that. I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those, but that shit got tore up. That's X5. That's like a 2015 X5.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they crumble. Guys, listen. When we say they crumble like paper, get in one of them. There's no airbags, and you guys get in them all the time in Ubers. And this is the norm out here. You would think people learn from mistakes. Human beings will learn from errors and mistakes. Like, oh, so-and-so died being a dickhead, so let me not leave the house and be a dickhead too. It's like, no, let me leave the house and be dickhead squared. There's no learning. They don't care about their lives, and they're not going to care about your lives. So Mario,
that's the problem.
Right.
That's the problem I have. If you want to kill yourself, cool, bro. But like, please don't try to take me with you. I'm good today.
Right. So what car do you have right now? Can you repeat that again?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just reading the comments. The documentary with the last 2 years of all the Dominican MLB. Word, that alone. So let's not pretend that this is easy here, bro. Let's not pretend that it's not what it is, right? I drive a Volvo XC90, and I hit that lady. My airbags didn't even deploy, and I caught her on a T. I slammed my brakes right before because I was coming up on 27 here, and I'm coming up like on an incline. So when I saw her in her gray car, it was too late already. Boom, I slammed the brake, but I hit her. My airbags didn't deploy. The car's still good. Even though it's expensive because it's a Volvo, you have the photo. It's not major damage from teeing somebody. Right, her car did like a 180, 360, and ended up in the parking of one of these Junto Sport or whatever the fuck it is over here. But what do you call? I drive a Volvo XC90, and right now I'm waiting to see if the bank approves me. I'm gonna jump into a Mercedes GLE 450 or GLE 53 AMG. Like I really, because there's another thing that people don't talk about, right? And I know everybody can't afford this. Here's the thing: everybody's got a different budget, right? So my tips go on the following, right? One, whatever you're gonna buy an American or European version. Yeah, that's my car. That whole shit was 18,000 because the hood, the lights, the sensors, the whole front. They just changed the whole front. Obviously, if I went to a dealer, I could if I fixed it versus replacing everything, I would have came out like 10 grand, 9 grand on it, right? Worth of damage here. But it was like the house is going to charge a lot, and that's what they charged me 18,900 or something like that. Or they charged the insurance company, right? And also the lady run the red light, and you can see right where I could hit her right over her back right wheel, right? Because as she was crossing in front of me. So these are my tips for cars, right? Number one, get whatever you're going to get, whether it's small, medium, large, whatever, get an American or European version, right? Those standards. If you can afford more than that, then try to get something that's a little bit bigger, that's really, really good on safety, that has a high safety ranking. But even if you can only afford $10,000, buy an old Ford Escape or something like that that's got a ton of airbags. Buy an old Honda Accord or Toyota Camry or something that has a bunch of airbags or something like that. Buy something that you can afford that's a mixture of that. You know what I mean? I totally understand, because that's the other thing. People are like, oh yeah, I don't want to spend a lot of money. I get it, but at the same time, if you're going to drive in this country, do what you got to do to try to get something to American standards, because it's your life at the end of the day, right? Not mine. But I do the best I can, and like I'm getting that Benz. And the other thing is also like people are like, oh, you keep leveling up in cars. Yeah, bro, because on the highway, man, I'll never forget this. My broker who sold me my first apartment in Sosua, right? She had like a used car, older car. She had a Toyota 4Runner. And I was just, oh, would you buy the car? I bought it from this dealer here. She was like, I don't know what, some fallen cylinder shit. She goes, and I took it right back the next week and changed it for this car. And I said, why? She goes, I drove to Santiago. And she goes, I almost died like 5 times trying to even pass a car. People don't realize you're constantly passing somebody here, right? Because people here are in the fast lane doing 27 miles an hour, and they're in the right lane doing 120. Which is the complete opposite, right? And people locking the road and all that. I mean, again, it's the gobbledy of it's like Star Wars. It's like when they're doing the attack on the Death Star, you know, all hands on deck. That's what it's like here on the highway. So what ends up happening is you also need acceleration to be able to pass people and not get yourself killed. When I used to have that Ford Escape, I would just sit in my lane because I didn't have enough power. I didn't have enough RPMs or whatever, right? Because it's not just 0 to 60 that people think about. You got to think about a lot of times you're driving from 40 miles an hour to 80 miles an hour and trying to pass people, right? So how's your car handle between 40 and 80 as you're trying to pass a truck? Because why are you trying to pass a truck? Oh, I don't know, because maybe he's got fucking rocks and sand that are going all over my car and his back is not covered. I mean, I have glass insurance. I got my car, my Volvo. As soon as I got my Volvo, I didn't have it for 2 weeks. 90,000 pesos for a fucking cracked windshield.
Yeah, it's a hit or miss when you want to invest in a nice car. I mean, look at this Ferrari right here that crashed in, I believe this was Mocha. This Ferrari crashed in Mocha. Single accident, like you said.
The high end cars, I can tell you why they crashed. They're just dumbasses. I live in Piantini, bro, and all I hear is all night as it gets nighttime because I live right next to Lincoln, right? So I don't know if you know, but Lincoln, like they love to drag. So like Lincoln, Churchill, never fucking pass, never go through a green light at night. You're gonna die. Like seriously, I'm not even joking. All I hear all night between them and the people that have the high end motorcycles, like the real motorcycles, all I hear when I have my window open, like the doors to my terrace, all night. McLarens, Ferraris, all the way through. They're going like that. And that's what they do. They slam the accelerator on a short strip, right? They try to go really, really fast, and then they lose control and crash. That with luxury cars happens every day here.
And listen, insurance doesn't work here, y'all, like in the States. Somebody hits you, you're paying for that. You're not getting physical therapy.
I'm going to give you the tip on that. Wait, I'm going to give you the tip on that. I'm going to give you the tip on that. I got that. I got the tip on that. I'm going to tell you why they don't pay you because I just found out. I got the scoop on this right now, right?
Oh, boy.
So insurance sucks and insurance is great. I had Banca de Reservas. They covered everything, bro. They paid the dealer. They paid everything. So they actually refused to insure the car for the second year because I had 25,000 worth of damage. About how did that happen, right? Well, first I told you 90,000 was just my windshield. I just get the car. I came out of one of those. I was on the highway. I came out of one of those places to put like the speed pass, and all of a sudden I just see a crack from one of the trucks that had a pebble, whatever. 90 G's. Then another time I had like a little dent from parking, like on the like a panel in the back. But the way my car is, if you hit that one spot, you hit 4 panels. So they hit the whole 4 panels and had to do all of that, right? And then there was the what do you call it? Then there was the major accident right now. So you're talking about 18,000, 19, 20, you're talking about 20-something thousand worth of damage, right? They were just like, for 1 year, we're not going to do it anymore. Banreservas, Humano, Universal, you get those insurance, and if you get full, let me explain to you why people here say insurance sucks, because most people do not drive with full coverage. It is a cultural thing here. People here are like, yo, bro, I spent like $2,000, yo, for insurance this year. That's, you know how much $2,000 to somebody is in this country? That's like paying $10,000 in New York City, right? For insurance for the year. People are not. I know people that got Land Cruisers and got liability insurance. Shorty, I used to talk to. What do you call it? Yo, you got what kind of insurance you got in the Grand Cherokee? Oh, just liability. And my license is expired. I'm like, what? I mean, go get your, just renew it online. Oh, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Yo, I'm like, what are you doing? You're driving with no, her brother, I told you about the accident. Her brother, the guy who was drunk in the car that pulled out of a bomba here in Santiago in front of him, the brother slams into him. He had no driver's license. Boom, and no insurance. Boom, you're automatically liable. So he had to pay that guy's car and then pay his car as well. So people don't understand. You need insurance. But, so now let me give you the other tip, because I found out how shit works here. I had just gotten my car out of the shop once, and some lady pulling out in my office scratches my car. One of the neighboring businesses told me who it was. I got through the video. I tracked her down from the business that she was in. So I go to her insurance company, and she's got the insurance company from Santo Domingo, right? Some bullshit ass insurance company. Bro, this happened late September, early October last year. The damages were 12,000 pesos to paint my bumper, right? They call me in January or February and they say, we'll give you 10 out of the 12,000. I'm like, all right, man, I ain't gonna be for 2,000 pesos right now. I just want more money because I ain't had nothing to do with that. My car was parked, so I want my money, right? Yo, bro, I'm still waiting for the money right now. And what I learned from my lawyer, so here's what I learned. If it's not when it's one of the top, I think 6 or 7 major insurers, they have a pact between them. Anything that happens, your insurance covers it, so you don't have to wait, be without a car and all of that. And then they battle it out between themselves, just like they do in the States, right? Because you got to get your car fixed. Like I had to get my car fixed, $19,000 to get almost to get my car fixed. I need a car, brother. I need to get that in the shop. Here's my cotización. Yeah, boom. I did everything quickly, and that's it. When it's these bullshit companies, what they do is they play around telling you they're going to resolve it. In an accident, you have 3 months to sue if no one was hurt, and 6 months to sue if someone was hurt. So they jerk you around for 3 months, and then what you're going to do after 3 months? Nothing. They don't have to pay you. And you got. So now I know if I have an insurance, if I have an accident with somebody who has a bullshit insurance company, yo, bro, my lawyer's going to call you tomorrow. You pay me and you work it out with your insurance. I'm not accepting your insurance for the accident. And that's it. I mean, I'm lucky I got a lawyer that I pay monthly for my business. So anything, I'm suing right off the bat. I've learned if it's a bullshit insurance company, they're not going to do it. Your insurance, you can't, in this country, you cannot wait for the other insurance to pay for your damages. You have to have full coverage for yours. They have to pay for yours. And then they fight it back out with the other insurance company, just so you know. No, you can't. You can't get full coverage if your car is really, really old. I had, right, in 2017, just so you guys know, I bought a 2011 Ford Escape, and I sold it a year and change ago, right? I had it through this whole entire time. I always had full coverage. What it is that you can't get 100% deductible, right? If your car's 15, I'm not driving a 15-year-old car. The most I might have is 5 or 7 years old, right? When I got my first car here, right? I'm not buying a car from the year of the flood. So I had full coverage. So what was that? 2017, 11. So I had a 6-year-old car. And then it was 7, 8, 9 years old, and I still had full coverage. What it is, you can get like 80-20 at one point or whatever. Like my Ford, right? I mean, my Volvo, right? My Volvo was 2017. When I got it out last year, I had full coverage without a deductible. Right now, I have a deductible, like 5% or whatever deductible on my car. Your car has to be less than 5 years, I believe, in order for you to have 100% no deductible. All that shit that I'm telling you for my Volvo, I didn't pay shit out of pocket, bro. Not even $1. Zero deductible. After 5 years, then you can't get 100% deductible. I can't tell you what it's like to have a car from like 2001, 2005 right now, because I would never drive something that old. You know what I mean? For many different reasons, right? But you can get full coverage of many cars if they're within like a 7. I don't know if it's 7 or 9. I've never asked my insurance guy because I never had it that old. But yes, up until like 7, 8 years old, you can get full coverage with I think like an 80-20 deductible or something. I'm not sure. Like when I had somebody hit me in the back while I was stopped in my Ford Escape right before the pandemic, right? So that was like what, 2019? The car was 8 years old. Somebody hit me in the back, and my deductible was 5,000 pesos.
Mario, do me a favor, drop your Instagram for me so I can put it up because I have a few people asking for your
Mario Fama RD.
Right here, right there right under Mario. That's his Instagram info. You guys hit him up. That happened to me. The motorcycle that hit me in Santiago, the guy ran away to Santo Domingo. He didn't have insurance. I basically paid for an accident that was not my fault, and that's basically one of the things that just had me like, fuck this place. Fuck.
You didn't have full coverage, right?
I did.
That's it. You have to have full. And here's my thing, right? Not all cars. If the car don't qualify for full coverage, even with like 5,000, 10,000 deductible or whatever, just don't get the car. Do what you got to do. I don't know. You know what I mean? But get a car that you can insure, because what happens is otherwise it's on you. Right? And there's also like Casa de Conductor that you have to get here. So, or there's two things. One is called Casa de Conductor or Concha, no me recuerdo cómo se llama otra vaina que yo tengo ahora. There's like 2 Casa de Conductores right now, right? The other one's a Casa de Automovilista or whatever. So how it works is when you have, like I had the full coverage, I have not that, but I have the Casa de Automovilista or Conductor. You don't go to the fucking AMET because they're grimy. You don't go to the AMET place to file your report. You go to the nearest center that has Casa de Automovilista. So and they have AMET people that work there 24/7.
I didn't know that.
So, right, because I didn't know that either. And when I got hit in Punta Cana and we went down to the place and the guy had no license and he paid off the cop and I tried to sue the guy and the cop almost locked me up and tried to fight with me in there and all that kind of crazy shit I went through. No, I'm not going to he said station. I'm not going to the cop station for a report. If anybody's injured, you go right to the hospital. If you have an accident here and someone is hurt, go to the hospital right away, and you're hurt too. Because if they're hurt and you're not hurt, then it's your fault, right? So if they're hurt, you're hurt, everybody's hurt. And then let's figure it out later. But if you have an accident, you have to, no matter what plan you have, get Casa de Conductor or Centro de Automovilista, lo que sea, your insurance person will tell you that. If I have an accident right now, that's where I go in the morning. I sit with the DGCET guy there. I tell him what happened. The first person to file is the first person that filed, and then they notify the other person to come in and do their version of the accident, and you do it there. Super civilized and everything. And if there's a fatality or something like that, they put you up in a special hotel for 3 days instead of spending the 3 days in jail that they do for investigation here.
If there's a fatality in your accident, I hope you guys really, really paid attention to that, because fatality is like you have to pay what, at least $10,000 or
I don't know. What I know is that when there's a fatality in an accident or somebody's really hurt, I don't know, they take you for like 3 days to jail for investigation. If you have Casa de Conductor or Casa de Movilista, they put you in a special. They have them in Santiago, Santo Domingo, so they got to take you there and put you in that hotel. So you could be in Puerto Plata and they'll take you to Santiago and you stay there for 3 days in the hotel that's specially designated for that. You get what I mean?
That's just a lot to process, guys. And this,
yeah, bro, I've been here for a long time. I've been processing all this shit. I learned everything, and I've learned like if you hit a motorcycle guy or whatever, and or like if you have a car accident and somebody's really fucked up, you better throw yourself on the floor and you fucked up too, because they're all gonna do the same thing that are there. And then if they're hurt and you're not, then that's it. But if everybody's hurt, let's just sort it out later on, right? But you need that on your insurance policy. You need the Casa de Conductor, because you like I opened my door one time, bro, because I was about to vomit. It was early in the morning. I was dry and I'm heaving, and I'm like, I opened up my door in Churchill, stuck in traffic. Boom! Of course, the motorcycle. It's my fault. I mean, you can't open your car in this country. You can't open your car door anywhere in traffic, anywhere. I'll stop. I opened my door, the guy hit me, and he's on the floor, and he starts like, yo, crying and all this shit. His car, motorcycle's fucked up and everything. We pull over to the side. The Ahmed guy comes and it's like, yo, I know, we drive like shit here, but try to resolve it with him if you can. And I'm like, yo, dude, I got full coverage right now. I said, if you hurt my man, go to the hospital. My insurance will cover you. I got my car. I don't care. You shouldn't have been driving 100 miles an hour between cars. You don't even have space to be there. Anywhere in the I'm giving him a butch. I'm giving him like 2 cents, because I got to be on the defensive right now. If I act like a little bitch and I act like a herb, they're gonna be like, yo, that's it. So anyway, the guy's there, whatever. And I said, look, man, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm like, I got 2,500 pesos on me right now. I need 1,500 on my way to Las Terrenas, which I was, right? I'm gonna give you 1,000, call it a battle loss, learn to drive better the next time. If not, vamos al mambo, here's my insurance, do what you gotta do, bro. I don't care. He was like, all right, he took 1,000, he left. And then the Ahmed guy stuck with me. And I'm like, yo, bro, if I came out of my car right now and I was like, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, are you okay? Oh, yo, 10, 20,000, the guy would have got me right over there, had me at the ATM wiping it out, trying to pay him off. But I came out like, nah, you shouldn't have been doing that. You shouldn't be doing 100 miles an hour between two cars. You open the door. What am I going to do, throw up in my car, bro? What do you want me to tell you? I'm stopped in traffic, bumper to bumper, cars on top of each other. I threw up. Leave me alone. You know what I mean? And that was it. But I was able to manage my way out of it because the way I handled it. Otherwise, they would have took advantage of me and got me for 10, 20 G's or something like that. Yeah. Nah, yo, come on.
Yep. Listen, yeah, that is the land where you could get it taken advantage of for something that's plainly not your fault. Somebody could hit you, they will be in the wrong, and they will still try to find a way to blame you. All right, I want to talk about car buying, because somebody just had a question right here. Rob asks, I own a Kia Sorento all-wheel drive Lexicana. Should I ship it to DR or sell it before I move to DR?
All right, so unless you just got your residency and you get that residency package where they let you ship a container of furniture and a car, and the car has to be no more than 5 years old, and it has to be under your name for 2 years, and you need to have a maskins of a bear's fucking nail stuck to the fucking hood. Bullshit that they do, right? I know people that are brought like that. No, you can't bring your car. The only way that you can bring it is if you hook up with a dealer here and he brings it like a dealer, because they're allowed to bring older cars and they're allowed to bring almost anything they want. But now you're putting yourself into a deal with somebody here that you don't know, because if you're asking that means that you haven't figured anybody out, right? So now you're going to be fucking with a dealer, and then he's going to tell you it's $1,000, and then once the car gets here, he's going to tell you he needs $500-700 to get it out of that, and then we also got to hit this guy off. You're at the mercy of him. The minute that car goes through him, you're at his mercy.
That is funny you said that, Mario. Emphasis on the you don't know these people. You do not
try to get involved the least amount with anybody. You car buying. There's 2 things in here that I hate: renting. I'm a broker, right? But I hate renting an apartment because a lot of times I don't have the rental. I do sales, so at sales I have no problem. But rentals, I don't have all the rentals. You got to call all the brokers. Nobody calls you back. I hate renting an apartment, and I hate buying a car. How to negotiate cars here, bro? Oh, this car is $47,500. All right, let's negotiate $46,500. Bottom line, or I'm not selling it. That's it, right? So it's not fun. we're like buying cars here. I'm not going to say it's not fun. If you're not buying a brand new car off the lot, it's not fun at all. But you can't bring your car. And I would not fuck with a shipper. Like, unless it was my boy that I grew up with. Nah, bro, I don't know you like that. That dude's they're going to tell you one price just to get you called into it. And then the next thing you know, you're going to come out with thousands of dollars more. And by the time you do the taxes that he paid and everything else, you might as well just bought a car here. That's my advice.
Listen, but I don't want people to get it twisted. If you're gonna buy a car in Dominican Republic, buy it brand new. Do not buy used.
If you can, yeah, that's the best with a warranty. Because if you bring a car imported, so if you bring an imported car, like my Volvo, right? My Volvo was 2017. I bought it last year, a year and a half ago, but it's an American version, right? I had to pay $810 for the membership to be able to take it to the Volvo dealer mechanic, right? And they treat me like a stepchild. They're like, well, you've got the American version. I got it. Oh, you know how they have like the on-call on the cars in the States where you can like talk to somebody when something happens or ask for help? Volvo has something like that, right? Every time I turn my car on right now that it needs service, that comes on. I have to hit the button 3 times before it goes away. They're not able to remove that. Because they're like, you got an American car. Our Volvos are European, so sorry. So if you bring a car here, there's no warranty. If there's a transmission recall, if there's an engine recall, whatever that you would have normally had back in your home country because the car is only 4 or 5 years old, you don't have that here.
Yeah, they'll say, "Oh, you have the American car. Your car is more safer. We don't work with safe cars."
Well, no, Volvo, they're both safe, but they're just like the European version. So they're like, I'm sorry, we're the Volvo from Europe. We don't have anything to do with the Volvo from the States. It's like I have a totally different car. You treat me like shit, bro.
You know, the funny thing you brought about the dealer, right? About trusting people. Guys, you can't forget that end of the day, it's more wild westish. I'm going to give you guys a story about when I bought a used car in the Dominican Republic. And this is for anybody who's thinking about, getting together with these dealers or going to buy a used car or whatever, right? I bought myself a 2015 Nissan Altima, right? Probably not even a month later, I brought it back to there. I'm like, listen, some of this stuff feels funny. I don't like it. You change it. When I bought the car, the dealer was like 1 month warranty. You're like, 1 month warranty? What the fuck is 1 month warranty, right? Some places will do 6 months, some places do a year. This shiesty ass dealer in Mocha was 1 month warranty. Do not buy cars in Mocha, Santiago. Anybody who's going to buy cars. I bring the car back a month later, and you know what happened that I discovered probably about a year later? When I brought the car back to the dealer, these motherfuckers stole my catalytic converter.
So I have to actually go, now that you're saying that, I actually have to go right now because that's the engine that shit just lit up after I got my car fixed. And it's 140,000 pesos, almost $3,000 for a catalytic converter for my Volvo. And it just lit up after I got it out of the shop. So I'm actually going to go to a place in Santo Domingo this week where they're going to put a camera down there to look to see if somebody got me for my catalytic converter. Because eso de moda right now. The guy in my office told me that's what they do now. Anytime you take a car to any shop, people want them, so they're stealing catalytic converters left and right.
Yep. They'll steal your cat, and this was the dealer. This is the dealer shop I brought it to. So if you're gonna buy a car, buy it brand new. If you're gonna go take your car to a mechanic, take it to a trusted mechanic. But they are savages on the road and off the road. It's definitely
wild. My accident, my steering wheel was off. I go back to them, it's still off. I go to another place, Santo Domingo, it's still off. I went all the way to Punta Cana where they know me and they know how to do it, and they did it. They're like, yo, Mario, they're like, everybody's balancing your front 2 wheels. You got to balance all 4 in this car to get your thing going. I had to go to 3 shops, and I went to the house twice to get it done, and they still couldn't just align my steering wheel, bro. And that's the house. Yeah. That's Volvo. That's the house from Europe. Yeah. The best, better than my Volvo because I'm American.
Yeah. The more they see you, the more money you have to pay. Apparently, you made.
Bro, I'll be beefing with everybody, man. But it's just it's just certain things here. Like you need to know about the insurance. You need to know about what car to buy. You need to know about what version to buy. These are things that just like you learn. You move into a different country. You know what I mean?
Right. So Elvis asks Mario, then the best advice is to not buy a car in the DR and just use Uber and regular taxi to get through places?
Well, I can't. It's not a question that I can answer because it's a loaded question. Like, so I'll explain to you, right? Mm-hmm. Like I can't live my life with Uber. I'm out daytime, nighttime. I got shit to do all day. I would spend thousands of dollars on Uber if I had to do that, right? Where are you going to live? You move to Sosua, you move to Las Terrenas. You don't got any Uber there, right? And what happens if you're at a bar and you can't get an Uber right now and this and this and this and that? I mean, those of us that live real lives, it's like, I'll give you an example, right? Forget about New York City because we got mad transit, right? If you live in San Diego, can you get around San Diego without a car? Can you get around Miami just on Ubering to work, back and forth to work every single day? Everybody has a different life, but for me, nah, man, I gotta drive, bro. Like I can't even begin to tell you how much money I would spend and how inconvenient it would be. And what do I do every time I have to leave the city right now? Pay $100 to go from here to Santo Domingo. Then I get home and then I gotta go to the supermarket, another $10, another $5, another $7, another $3, another $2. All right, I'm coming back maybe on Thursday. That's another $100. That's another $100. I'd be at three. I'd be spending AMG money. And I would be really uncomfortable. If you just live in like Santiago and you don't want to drive, or if you just live in Santo Domingo and you just want to Uber around, you might be able to get around with it. But somebody like me, I have a full life here. Like it's impossible, bro.
Nah,
I want to go to the beach. I want to go to the beach right now. What do I do? I want to drive.
I didn't have a full life. I didn't have a full life, and that shit only lasted like 6 months for me. I was living in Santiago. I was like, yeah, I don't need to buy a car, Uber everywhere. But when you Uber everywhere, you're at the mercy of somebody else. So not only is you that's not behind the wheel, as a driver, but it's like, damn, you can't leave a spot when you want to. You can't go somewhere you want to. You can't hop in your car and be like, all right, I want to leave this bar. Or I want to go to the market. I need to go back.
I drive around. I drive around with jewelry. I got nice jewelry. I got trunk shit on all the time. I can't be sitting in the street waiting for Ubers every day, bro.
Yeah, man. Elvis, to answer your question, it all depends on your driving skill. Like me, growing up and driving in New York City, like I drove from New York to Vegas. I'm confident enough in my driving skill to where, all right, I feel like I could get a car in the Dominican Republic, but I was still ready to accept death in those streets. Every day I got behind the wheel, in Chicago, going to wherever. I could be going down the street to the pharmacia. I was willing to be like, all right, you know what? I can expect a car to come out of this exit, a car from this exit, car, whatever. I can expect a car to land on top of me, leaving the 7th floor. It's just that insane.
Yo, I don't know if you saw the video I put in the expat groups. A dude on a motorcycle got taken out by a dude on a horse, bro. Motherfucker on a horse took him out.
I saw that.
Yo, come on, man. Yo, I think I'll be lying, but it should be wild out here, bro.
Yo, a horse took out a motorcycle, man. Whose fault was it? The horse's fault.
From Curbo, they seem to operate like CarMax in the U.S. I don't know. I've never bought from them, so I can't say if that's a good or not. It depends. If you're buying brand new, it doesn't matter where, because you're buying and you can go to the dealer mechanic, right? So when you buy brand new, you can go to the dealer, to the mechanic. But I don't know how that dealer is. I've never really looked them up. There's some good dealers out there. There's a lot of crappy dealers out there. The negotiating skills, regardless, here are just not fun. So just do your research, look them up, ask in groups about the dealer, ask people's experience with them. And, again, if you buy a brand new car, you're going to get the house warranty for X amount of years and X amount of miles. And that's what you really want. Like me right now, if I jump into an AMG, I'm going to get that Benza. And as soon as I got like 10,000 kilometers left under the warranty, I'm dumping it off and getting a new one. I'm never paying the car off. I'm just putting 20% down, pay the crazy monthly bills, and then boom, every 2 to 3 years, just switch it.
Man, I wanted an AMG so bad. That's every time I will go to like either Las Terrenas or Rio San Juan, I'd rent an AMG just to just gun it on the road. But for me personally, I would love that car too much to own it in DR, because there's just so much negligence. But tell me this. Have you noticed in like certain cars you drive, people actually like respect you a little bit more on the road?
So different things. On number one, on the road. Like my car, I got the body. I got a new body, right? So I bought it used. It doesn't matter. Brand new. My car's $100,000 here, right? So on the road, yeah. Sometimes. More than like, if I'm pulling up in a corner somewhere, right? Get information, gentlemen. I have driven a major metropolis in the States. Okay. What do you call it? So yeah, people treat you really, really well, like much better, I would say, when you have a nicer car. You pull up, they're like, a little bit, like they don't want drama. They like, not everyone, because you still got the stupids. The stupids are motorcycles and stuff like that. But like certain people I've noticed that they're not, especially when your car's clean and shit, they'll not want to get near you or whatever the case is more. Then also where they treat you differently, right? Go to the gate of Capcana, go to the gate of Punta Cana Resort, go to a gated complex at the door or anywhere like high end. The minute you show up in a nice car, you're like, and they're like, leader. I've gone into places, people just like, yeah, they automatically open the gates for me and shit like that. Yeah, I go back in a Chevy Trax. Yo, I lived in Capcana, bro, and I got into a fight with them because I had the car rental while I, while I had my car in the shop fixing it. And I didn't have my card. I got in at night. They knew me. In the morning, I went to the supermarket. They let me out. And when I came back, they're like, we don't know you. I'm like, you just let me out right now. Yo, bro, I got into a mad. I'm like, yo, y'all a bunch of classist motherfuckers. I was like, if I had my car right now, I'm like, I don't got a Volvo now because I got tattoos. What do you think? I'm going to come in here and steal a fucking building? They wouldn't even let me loop around to get the receipt, the thing to come, the temporary pass. I barked on them, you know what I mean? So they treat you, people here treat you depending on your car. And that's real. You roll up in a Benz, a Beamer, a Volvo, and different cars mean different things. Like I want the Benz, the AMG, but I'm getting the round back, the regular 4-door SUV. If you get the sport back, that's all the chiperos. All the guys that fucking scam and all the drug dealers, they all got the sport back. So I'm not getting a sport back. I'm getting a round back. Lexus, Audi, Volvo, those are like poppy cars. They're like high-end cars. So every car's got a different kind of thing. Tahoe, funcionario. If you got a Tahoe High Country, the new ones, you're a funcionario. That's what they drive, right? So people respect you. Like my boy, he got a Tahoe. And he was like, yo, I love the Cadillac, the new Caddy. Yo, I wanted to get that. He goes, but it doesn't mean anything in this country. It's just a nice car, but it has no status. Like it's not it's not like tied to any status. Like who are you when you have it? It's really weird, but that's how they see you here, right? If I drive a Volvo, I'm a businessman right off the bat because I'm driving a Volvo. Like that, I'm automatically, that's who I am. It's not a hood car or nothing like that. I get the AMG, that's nice. If it's nice white, whatever the case is, and I get the round back, I could be anything. I get the sport back, I'm a hustler or a credit card scammer.
Damn, I love that sport back. The 53 and the 63, those are my.
Yeah, 63 I fucking with. That shit's like 200-something thousand, 220,
yeah,
220, 230. But I'm jumping into it currently.
For what? Listen, yeah, the 63S in the Dominican Republic is about 220,000, but in the States starting at maybe $98,000. Anywho, so buying a car now, right? So we got a little to. Can you give us a little advice on buying a car? So besides buying brand new and watching,
buy American. Buy American version of. It'll tell you versión americana, versión europea. Most of the cars that you're going to find that are used, there's no market to import. So all the used European cars are cars that were sold new here, right? Like if you get a Volvo, most of the time it's either imported from the States or it was sold here new through the European dealership and then it stayed in the country. There's no market for imported European cars, right? Like used cars, right? Like nobody's going to bring a 2017, 2018 Volvo from Europe imported. There's no market for that because they're far away. The market comes from Florida, right? They get them out of dealers' auctions and they bring them down. So the best thing, just to keep it simple, get an American version of any car or something that was sold in this country, like the Mazda CX-5, the Mazda CX-9, that are U.S. standards. Certain Toyotas, make sure that it has all the airbags, curtains, and everything like that. Make sure it has all of that. You know what I mean? That's my best bet. Even if it's a cheap car, get like a Ford Escape or get something that's an American version of a mid-size or up. I'm not a fan of Econo boxes.
How can somebody protect themselves from basically all the dealers, in my opinion, because I'm jaded, are shit,
bro? I got bro. The only if you're buying new, if you're buying brand new, you can go to Autosama, you can go to wherever you click with high-end dealers because they sell brand new cars also, and then you take them to the dealer, right? If you're buying brand new, you find a dealer that you click with, and that's it. You're buying a brand new car. Ya está hecho, tú sabes. When you're buying a used car, depending on what your budget is right now, there are not a lot of new or semi-new cars because there's been a car shortage worldwide, right? Like I was looking at the Porsche Macan. There's no fucking Porsches. Like they literally had no Porsches to sell. What do you call it? So, but if you're gonna buy used, I mean, I don't know, man. Yo, dude, I just don't like it, man. I'm like right there with you.
Me neither. Me leaving now, I'd rather tell people, listen, if you're not gonna buy new, don't buy. You got to figure something else out.
You can buy. The next thing. I'm sorry. Let me clear it up. The next thing, the next level besides new that you can buy, right? It's me. Like I saw the GLE 53 AMG. It's a $155 brand new, right? I found one for 138 that only had 14,000 miles on it. 14,000 kilometers on it, right? Almost new. The person had it like 8 months. It still has the factory warranty. I still take it to the dealer. Everything's from the dealer. You just because here, the minute somebody buys a car and you buy $160,000 car, the minute you off the lot, you spend 20 grand. Boom, that's it, done. Maybe less because they're selling it to me for 138, right? So how much did they sell it to the other person? They sold it for 120. That person lost like 40 grand right off the lot, right? So know that if you're gonna get a brand new car, it loses if you plan to have it for a while, it's cool. But sometimes here you can get a car with like 7,000 kilometers, 8,000 kilometers. It still has almost the whole full warranty on it and everything, and then you're fine. That's the next step. It's called the casa. It's called the car is called Vendida la Casa. It was sold by the house.
I've gone through in my car buying process. I've gone through a fake Carfax at my dealer.
Yeah. No,
So
I
so
always
I,
do. I don't give a shit what they put on the Carfax, homie. I do my own Carfax. What is it, $20 or something like that? I'm not. If I'm gonna spend 20, 30, 40, 50,000 on a car, I'm gonna spend $20 on the Carfax. I always do my. I don't believe anything anybody tells me here. I keep telling baby Jesus can show up right now, and I'm just gonna be like, yo, I don't believe you, bro. You ain't a baby. You're like one of those 30-year-old midgets telling me you're a baby. You ain't a baby. You know. So I don't play that shit.
yo, that guys, when you go buy used, like Mark said, do you own Carfax? Because a lot of these cars are coming out, they're salvaged, they're lemons, they're rolling their
There's not a
odometers
lot of
back.
cars on the market because of the shortage right now. So a
They
lot of them are
they
salvaged. And
they rolled the odometer back on my car by 100 by more than 100,000 miles. I'm
the
telling
Ford
you,
Escape. Yo, the Ford. So check out the Ford Escape story. I told you I had a Ford Escape. I bought it from a dealer in Puerto Plata, right? The car said 55,000 miles on it. I take it to Sosua to this European mechanic. Checks out the car. Says the car's mint, Mario. Really nice car. Really well taken care of. All right, next step. Let me run the Carfax. I run the Carfax. That car had 155, not 55. I tell the dealer, yo, you guys rolled it up back 100. He goes, yeah, but the mechanic said it's a good car, so I can't lower the price. That was it. So I had a choice. The mechanic said it's a good car, buy it or not, and I did.
nah, screw that. By 100,000, man. If it's not the driving that you got to watch out for, it's the dealers. Like I said, it's for me that I was just at war, being at war every day. Like, damn, I gotta drive in these streets, and I gotta go through this to buy a car. I gotta go through this for insurance, car accidents. It's being at war. So Elvis asked Mario, a lot of people in the DR and even NYC are buying electric scooters to get by. You drive them most on the sidewalk. Is that a good idea? No.
There's no sidewalks here hardly. No, you're gonna end up being no, and they have bike lanes they're putting in Santo Domingo, and they don't work. They nobody respects them. So no. I mean, I'm somebody who doesn't sleep at night because of a motorcycle accident I had in New York 10 years ago. So the motorcycle fatality rates are insane, and anything else that you're on that resembles anything electric that resembles even a motorcycle or anything like that, your fatality rates are going to be through the roof.
You want to do that, Elvis? Go to Colombia. Colombia will be much better for you. But Mario, going back to accidents, look at this video that I'm about to share on Accidentes RD, right? We're going to talk about a little bit more about the stupidity here,
Yeah,
right?
the guy crossing the road, just
And
walking
then
across the
boom,
highway,
and gets
got
hit.
clipped. Yep, that's it. Yeah, that's normal. That's every day. And then
It's
you're at
normal.
fault. You're at fault. You're at fault because they crossed the highway.
It's normal every day. Now, for somebody who doesn't know what the hell is going on, who is in the wrong? The guy crossing the street like that, or the car going down the wrong way? Obviously, going down the wrong way. If you guys, this car is going this way when traffic is going south. Look at this car. The car that hits that hits that dude. Where's the car going?
Yeah, I don't even know because they're going the same way.
The car's on the complete side. It's on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, he's on oncoming traffic. The dude went into oncoming traffic and hit him. That's what's going on. That shit's crazy, bro. That shit's crazy. A lot of people in the DR and even New York City are buying electric. Yeah, oh, sorry, it was the same thing. Yeah, I wish, but no, we ain't on that here.
Nah, you want a bicycle? I don't even know how these brave souls would drive bikes in the DR. But this was in Puerto Plata. This was crazy right here. Look, I think this was like a little carrito. This shit just
Yeah,
split
this
in
looks like a
half.
concho car.
The contra cars are the cars that have about 10
Oh,
people.
that must have just happened. If I'm not mistaken, I'm reading Montellano. Yeah, that happened recently. How many days ago? 6 days ago. That was Gran Parada right there when you come off the highway from Santiago.
What happened to
When you
that?
come from Santiago, when you come from Santiago over the mountains and you can either make a left into Puerto Plata, it's called Gran
Yeah.
Parada. That's where it happened. That corner is just a death corner. Because if you understand how the two roads merged there, the Puerto Plata Sosua road and then the Montellano road coming from the high, that is just a death trap. In that corner, people die every day. I mean, maybe I'm just exaggerating every day, but it's there's a lot of death on that corner.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, 500 people died here in the past 3 months. Let's do something to fix it. No, like I don't know if you take the autopista, right? So when you're coming from Puerto Plata and you take that long strip down, you're going into Santiago. When you have like that forking road that goes to Navarrete and then Santiago, when you hit that highway right before you pay, I think it's after you pay the tolls, you know where you pay the tolls to get into Santiago, right? There's no lights. You know which road I'm talking about?
Yep. There's no lights.
It's absolutely no
I don't
light.
drive. I really try not to drive at night anymore because I've had between the glare, because you have low light, you have glare. You've got people that have no lights on their motorcycles, the back of the big trucks, and all that kind of stuff. I literally, like, if I can't leave my house, like if I'm gonna leave Santiago to Santo Domingo, 4 o'clock is my cutoff time. If I can't be on the road by 4 o'clock, I can't leave because I'm gonna be driving at night, and I'm just not with it, man. I'm just not. I've had too many close calls that I just decided that, like, you know what, I'll just stay the night wherever I'm at, and that's it. Like, I'm not driving at night. Everybody knows that. People know that. Like, yo, dude, I've driven to Punta Cana, and like, yo, there's just 18-wheelers with no lights on, man. Dudes with motos on the side of the road, halfway into your lane, coming on the other way, no lights. People crossing the highway in front of you on motorcycles or walking, nothing, no reflection, dude. I just can't, man. I'm not doing it no more. I really just try my best not to drive at night anymore, unless it's something local. Like, obviously, locally in the city, I drive. Or if I'm in Punta Cana, I'll drive around Punta Cana. But as far as drive from like into city, I ain't doing that shit at night. I'm staying where I'm at.
And that's tough for some people because people want to go to the beach, come back. So it's like, man, all right, you're gonna go to the beach on Saturday, but okay, guys, let's leave the beach by 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock because we don't,
You look at
want to.
you look on the weather app, and you see when sunset is, and if you can't be almost home by the time the sun comes down, you're gonna have a problem. I mean, I've seen too much, man. I've gone through too much. I'm not even I've seen too much. I've gone through too much, and it's just, it's mad exhausting driving at night, bro. You're like this, and it's mad glare because, like you said, there's low light. Even on the highways where there's light, it's low light. It's not like lit up highways like the States, right? So you got low lights, which causes glare from oncoming traffic. How many times have you driven at night? You can't see shit in front of you. On the road, you can't see a pothole. You can't see nothing.
All the time, and that's
I have to drive with high beams.
Yeah, me too. And listen, I don't remember that for everybody. I've only the latest I've left Puerto Plata to go to Santiago was about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and that's because I am that confident in my driving skills, especially in the Dominican Republic. But that is not for everybody. There's no lights on the highways.
Nope.
People don't have headlights, front lights, whatever. And
everybody's trying to pass. How many times does a dude in your lane oncoming passing and almost clips you head on?
Yep. People,
bro.
You see those signs that said no rebase? People go around into the other lane just to get in front of
double. You. Yo, bro, double. There's a dude passing the dude that's passing. They one time made me slam into a small car when I had a car rental. So I slammed into a little carrito because I was passing him, and the guy passed me and almost sideswiped me. So not to sideswipe him, I sideswiped the other guy, and I almost died. Yeah, bro.
I don't think you guys understand that mathematics. So we're going this way, right? Mario's gonna go around me, and then another car is gonna go around Mario, and everybody's in the opposite lane,
coming the other way.
And this is what I was talking about, making right turns from the left lane. You could tell this car was in the wrong. Right here, this little Hyundai. It's always the Hyundais. It's always idiots driving these little paper Hyundais. Probably try to cut the truck off, right? Shit, car could have been much worse. My goodness, man. But listen, I hope you guys took your notes on tonight. Definitely a lot on safety. I know some of you guys who are in the coming months or years when retire down here, live down here, be like, hey, should I ship my car, Listen, before you think about all that stuff, ask yourself, no exaggeration, ask yourself, listen, am I ready to put my life on the line today, getting behind the wheel of a car in the Dominican Republic?
And it can be done. It just takes time. It really takes time, and it takes the mindset of, like, because a lot of times, like, even my business partner, he comes out, he's like, yeah, I can drive, whatever. And he'll drive, but then all of a sudden some shit will happen to him, and he'll be like, oh my God. And I'm like, that's what I'm telling you, I see every day, because he only comes every 6 months or something like that, right? So it's just to be, like, prepared for, like, shit that you would never be prepared anywhere else, because it's crazy, right? So, like, yeah, you could drive well and everything. And again, people will, you got to drive, man. I'm a person that, I'm going to go to a country. I've driven in Costa Rica. I've driven in Puerto Rico. I did St. Thomas. I don't give a shit. I'll drive in Afghanistan if I have to, right? But at the end of the day, just understand that there's a learning period, and what you have to look out for here is different than what you would have to look out for everywhere else. And obviously, you want to make sure you have a good Starship that you get into. If you're going to buy a Starship, We're not calling them starships, but buy a good fighter ship. Buy something that has good acceleration, especially good acceleration from 40 to 80 miles an hour. That right there, that allows you to pass people, because you're constantly going to have to, whether you're a passer or not. You're not going to stay behind a truck with dirt and a guy doing 30 on the left lane, an entire 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers on the highway, right? Something that's got a little bit of a handling, for the roads, because people are always coming into your lane here. And just think about what you're going to buy. Just you can't prevent stupidity, but you can prevent at least having a machine that might be able to take a hit well in case something happens, right?
Exactly.
And then get the casa de conductor for you, get full coverage. I have insurance for everything here, bro. I have life insurance. I have insurance if I get sick. I have the top of the line insurance for everything. I don't play around. You know what I mean? That's the one thing that people are like, insurance is one of the fastest growing businesses in Latin America and in the Dominican Republic, right? Just get a good insurance company, get a good intermediary and stuff like that. Be fully insured with everything that you do here. That's your best bet, because a lot of the problems that happen here is because people don't have insurance. They get themselves into shit, and then, oh shit, I got no coverage. What do I do today? I'm fucked. 5 minutes after you're fucked is the wrong time that you should have got real full coverage on everything. I'm talking about everything, healthcare, everything. You come down here. As soon as you land, what's the top plan for this insurance company? Health plan, I'm taking that. What's the top plan for this? Car, I'm taking that. What's the top for everything else? Do it and save yourself the head. I go around, I really don't have a headache. Car gets fucked up, they're going to fix it. I get sick, I'm going to the hospital. Whatever it is, I'm good.
And if somebody says they have,
I even have cancer insurance on top of my health insurance. That way, in case the bills get too high, I got another insurance that kicks in after that.
Sheesh. Listen, if you get in a car accident, somebody, they say they have insurance, don't trust them off the back. Mario, I think this was one of the examples you were talking about. This car accident right here.
Hold on a second, let me look at it.
I'll start it over.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know where this BMW was trying to squeeze in.
I saw that, but that wasn't in here. That wasn't in this country. That was somewhere else. Yeah. But that happens normally, though.
Yep, exactly. Just like that. Tiny little ass highways.
Yeah, because there's always a guy halfway into the lane. You know how they ride the lane, right? You know what I'm talking about? Like they ride a half a lane. There's always somebody riding a half a lane, bro. They don't go fast enough to be in a lane, so they're half riding between the lane, either on the left or the right. They have half their car in your lane as you're on highway speeds, and half of it on the shoulder. That's mad normal here.
There was a video a few weeks ago, I think, or like a month ago, in Puerto Plata. The guy that got stuck under the truck and his leg just
I even see that, man. There's just so many of them.
I was like, driving here is not for the faint.
Nah, you gotta be on your P's and Q's.
Actually, you guys could go check out this page also, Accidentes RD, so you can know there's no exaggeration, and follow the page so you guys could get updates. There's literally accidents being uploaded every 20 minutes, every day of the week, because there's no driving law here. People here do not know.
I love the part where they try to blame whose fault it is. Let's be honest, bro. There's about 47 million fucking street signs that are missing in this country, and at least 1 million semaphores that should be somewhere. You have a major intersection where the rule is whoever gets in first wins. So it's almost like sometimes yes, you know who's clearly to blame, but other times it's like, how do you blame where the system, where you go to a major intersection and there's no lights, right? Everybody just gets in where they fit in, right? It's like 57th Street and imagine 57th Street in Manhattan with Fifth Avenue, no lights, just whoever gets in, and that's it. Times Square, get in where you fit in. That also is the system for that.
I think you shared this one in the expat group.
It's like a bowling. Yeah, no brakes. Nobody ever hits the brakes.
Right. No helmets. Nothing. Yeah, listen. It's tough. You need to buy big body, like Mario said. Buy big bodies, no sedans. If you're gonna buy, don't buy any sedans. Get an SUV. Get a nice size SUV with airbags. You're gonna have to play Mario Kart. You're gonna have to play bully ball in the Dominican Republic. That's the one with the horse. It's the horse right here.
Bro, they got to come out with a horse. Watch. It's crazy, bro.
Listen. Even the horses don't respect red lights here in Dominican. But make sure you guys are watching right here. Look at this. Look at the horse coming. Beep, beep.
Boom, yo, and that looks fatal, bro. That's bad.
Yeah, that is.
Nobody wears helmets either. Nobody uses helmets, so
that's
crazy, dude.
That definitely is fatal, man. Just these Hondas don't fall for the everybody. There's lots of Hondas on the road, so the Hondas are good.
The
No, the Honda.
K5s, and most of them run on propane, and they come from Asia, from Korea with propane, but they're not built propane for the factory. They switch them before they send them here, so it's still not a propane. That's why so many of them go on fire, because nobody here maintains the propane system, and it just ends up cars getting them blowing up every day. Like you've seen it here all the time. Cars on fire on the side of the road because they switch them to propane when they bring them here. Or after the factory, they're sold as gas cars. They put them in propane to use them as taxis in Korea, and then they ship them here with aftermarket propane. The people here are like, no, but they come like that from the factory. No, they don't. I watched already. I follow some like really high end dealers, and they always have like these podcasts and stuff. So I listen to what they have to say, and so I know.
Listen, I know somebody said, "Oh, accidents are exaggerated here." How the fuck do you explain this? There's just stupidity behind the wheel. Every
There's nothing you
single.
could do. Yeah, just
there's literally nothing you
just
can do.
another day. The buses, and everything, bro. It's just another day, and that's why look. The best you can do is just be prepared and have a nice car. You know what I mean? Not nice, meaning a safe car. You know, with all the airbags or all the stuff that you need. Otherwise, ya tú sabes, te jodiste.
Bro, the buses they whip the buses here like they're Hondas.
Yeah,
like the.
I have a joke. Everything in this country is a Porsche.
No lie.
But they drive everything like it's a Porsche. Like they don't speed and everything like that. So it's like, sometimes I see like the little van carrying passengers, and they're doing like 90 miles an hour on the road, flipping lanes. And I'm just like, damn, yo. So it's like, yeah, like, like people talk about Uber, bro, those little Daihatsu cars that they run Uber out of, like in Santo Domingo and stuff like that. Those things with a kick, I can go right through the door. My foot, I can put it right through the door.
No, really, I think if you tried hard enough, you could break through these cars yourself.
Bro, it's a 500-pound car or some shit like that. The little Daihatsus that everybody uses for Ubering. Yo, you close the door. It's like a go-kart. It's like an enclosed go-kart.
Jeez, look at this. This is CR. See, when I see CRVs, Hondas caving like this, I don't trust the cars.
Because look how they got hit mad hard. They got hit mad hard for that to happen.
Look how
that was a high speed impact. That's high speed. Looking at the whole engine block is ripped. That was high speed impact. I see this on the side of the road, sadly, all the time, bro. All the time. That's a Benz. That looks like a 230 that hit him.
Yeah, that was a
230 300.
The Benz could have did that. Benz probably didn't brake in time. That was a Honda Porsche. Like you said, a Honda Porsche they were driving.
Same car here all the time.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
They said they just stop right there in the middle of the road.
By law, you're supposed to have a safety pack in the car, but nobody does.
Oh, she did.
Yep. She did. Right, boom. Look at that done. All of them just tore up. Cars tore up from the floor up, bro.
And they tend not to share the fatal ones. Like, look at this, cars just flipping over.
No, because you can call and have them remove it. When the girl I knew, her brother crashed, they called up and were like, "Nah, that's we want to take it off." And if you request for them to take it off, they will take it off.
So imagine all the videos that they're not posting.
Yeah, because people if somebody sees it, like, "Oh, you made a taxi today." What do you call it? They'll do that. Yeah.
There was a video a few weeks ago of a guy driving backwards.
This isn't here though. This video is not here. There's no tunnel like that I know of. Yeah. Because they put foreign stuff sometimes also on the page.
This is here.
Oh no, she stole the car. The guy left the car running and she just took the car. Yeah.
No way.
There you go.
No
I've seen all
way.
the videos. Yeah, she crashes it right now because she can't drive, and then they come grab her out of the car.
No way.
Yeah, man. Ray Jose.
Nah, he beat a motherfucking ass. Idiot. Oh, this shit is crazy. Oh my goodness. There was a few of them, y'all. Listen, nice cars, big cars. Listen, the bigger you are, the safer you'll be. Just think Mario Kart. When you're gonna come driving with Dominican Republic, right? You're gonna drive with Bowser. You know, everybody bounces off Bowser when you're here. This is another thing, tailgating too close. Tailgating too close. Here they do not believe in spaces between cars.
Yeah, dude, I'd be laughing. I'm like, yo, there's an inch. There's an inch. There's a whole entire inch. There's an inch. I can't let it go. I got to take the inch.
Like you said, running through red lights. Listen, even during the daytime, I know somebody had asked in the comments, is daytime driving safe? No time is driving safe.
More people during the day, more stupid shit happening. Less people at night, extreme stupid shit happening. It's just, yeah, bro. I mean, I guess it's part of like driving. I've heard like Thailand and other places are like that. So I guess it's just, it's what do you call it? It is what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just the thing is, once you see, I didn't know these things when I moved here, right? I didn't know
Right.
cars were made differently for third world nations. I didn't know there was safety standards were different. Yes, I knew people drove like shit. I've been coming here since 2003, and I've been driving here since I don't know when, right? So I always picked up on the driving part, but then I didn't know about the cars. So now that I understand, and also I never drove as much as I mean, I drive more than your average person. Let's just say even your average Dominican person, right? Intercity or all around and everything like that. I have a lot of varied driving experience. So I'm able to tell people this, that doesn't work because I'm on the road all the fucking time. Rain, so well, no snow, but rain, shine, whatever. Like I drive an SUV and I refuse to, most of the SUVs sold in this country. I don't know if you guys know if they're sold, especially the cheaper ones, right? But a lot of SUVs sold in this country to sell them for a little bit cheaper, even though everything's so expensive here. Just to be able to sell them a little cheaper, they sell the 2x4 version. Like if you want a Kia Sportage and you want a 4x4 for all-wheel drive, you have to pay $10,000 extra for an all-wheel drive Kia Sportage from the dealer versus a 2x4.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that because a lot of these dealers will sell things. They'll just put on the nice 4x4 sticker on the back, but you're really buying a
No, you got
two-wheel
to look
drive.
underneath, right? The differential, and you can tell. Because here's the thing, right? The reason why I always take all-wheel drive, and I've had a bunch of some of these gringos in the groups, they want to fight with me all the time, and they're just like, you don't need, I'm a mechanic. You don't need all-wheel drive. There's no snow and this and that. Bro, have you been stuck in these torrential rains out here? Bonao, always raining. I'm always on the highway going through there. When that rain starts coming down, you're having all-wheel drive is life. When there's dirt on the road from the trucks that leave and they're not covered and they drop tons of dirt on the road and you hit a dirt patch on the road or something like that on the highway at 40, 50 miles an hour, that all-wheel drive is life. I am not dealing with nothing if it's not all-wheel drive.
Yeah, but especially because the sewer systems are not the greatest, so streets get flooded very, very easily. In some cities, I know where I lived in Santiago, at a point you could be in the water and the water be up to your knee.
Right. And no, there's hardly any sewer systems here. There's hardly any sewer systems in the entire country. There's no drainage. So the minute it starts to rain, that's it. It floods up. Santo Domingo, you see that all the time. Santiago, you see that all the time. So you hit a puddle like that coming around a corner or whatever. All-wheel drive, I refuse not to drive all-wheel drive. That's just my personal thing. I recommend that to everybody. Some people say that I'm wrong because there's no snow. You don't really need it. Cool, bro. That's on you. I went to a house in Las Terrenas one time that I rented, and to go up to the house, it was raining that day, like light rain, and the road in Las Terrenas, I don't know how if you know how those houses are on the mountains, they're like this. Yo, dude, I don't know how the hell I made it up there. And I was like, yo, thank God I got all-wheel drive, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I'll be on accident and fucking car slides backwards in the rain and ends up in the woods. You know what I mean? I just personally, if it ain't all-wheel drive, I'm not touching it in this country.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Especially, and I hate how they put off some of the Cherokees that's four-wheel drive too, because I've driven a two-wheel drive Jeep Grand Cherokee and it literally made no sense.
They sell 2x4 Jeep Grand Cherokee. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. What is the point of it?
This is the Caritos. I fucking man, they couldn't make me pay for that. So many people would be out of jobs, Mario, because first executive order, I would ban all Caritos in the country.
You can't though, because they're trying to do that. They have a bus system that they put into certain places. I'll just explain to you. It's a mafia, right? It's a mob. So the bottom line is they have power. They have power, and then that's the reason why things are the way they are. They have power. So at the end of the day, to you and I in the modern world, we'll be like they're a danger. But the transportation mafia is massive in this country. It's the same reason why they have buses and they haven't put a rail system. Do you know how advanced the Dominican Republic could be if they had a rail system here? The only rail system here is for the sugarcane, the La Romana sugar run. But that's about it. You'll see it out there from Boca da Yuma going into La Romana. Could you imagine if they had a rail system in this country? How booming that would, how that would just cheapen everything, moving it across the country and everything like that. You can have you can have passenger trains, but because the bus and the concho and all these kind of mafias run the country, they don't allow progress for the country. Just so you understand.
Listen, Dominican Republic is supposed to be where Colombia is and
But that's why it's not, because they're still you still have that. They're not looking to, though people might want advanced things. They don't let they don't put the politicians in power that do these things for them. And then the few mafias that run the country, like the transportation mafia, the bus mafia, they allow them enough power that they're not able to do it. Because if somebody said, hey, we're going to just put a rail system through the entire country, that would just make that would make them useless, the bus companies, right? So they but there's a price to pay for all that, right?
These are this is the model you was talking about. This looks like a K5 from the
Right.
grill.
It's basically the Hyundai Sonata and the Kia Sorento. No, that's sorry.
This looks
The
like
Kia
a K5.
Optima.
Look,
But they look like them, but they're not it.
I want to pause this to see how many airbags can we count. So far, I see none in the back seat. I saw none from the passenger window. I think there's only one on the side door.
One driver's. It looks no. That's a driver's one you're seeing right there. If you go back a little bit, it looks like you might have just one bag. If it cuts off a little bit, right there. Stop. Keep going. It'll go a little bit more, and then it'll roll back. Keep going. Keep going. Boom. One more. Just one more frame. At one point, it shoots you'll see the frame. So that looks like it's not going to be there's no way that's going to be a door, because I know the fact for a fact that looks like it only has one airbag, which is the driver's airbag. That's it. If that's the airbag, it's only one airbag in that entire car.
Like we said, it's paperweight. Look how
because otherwise both would have popped out.
Look how it just crumbled up. And that's a propane tank. It looked like the propane might have exploded. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, they explode all the time.
Before you guys spend $10,000, well, they some of them cheat like $8,000. Before you guys spend $8,000 on this one, don't. You're better off, and be careful with your mechanics, because your mechanics will rob you. Your mechanics will rob your pieces. Like I said, they stole my catalytic converter.
I'm glad you said that, bro, because the guy in my office was telling me to go check that out, and I'm going to do that, bro. He's like, yo,
yeah,
go check it out.
If it's your check engine, like my friend Nikki drove my car, and I didn't say shit. And she turned it on, and then the check engine light came on, and she was like, "Free, hey." She's like, "Did they steal your catalytic converter?" And I'm looking at her like, "Yo, how the fuck do you know?" She's like,
"Well,
okay."
The thing is, I got full coverage. So here's the thing: I got full coverage. If I find out that they stole it, I don't have to pay the $140,000.
Okay, that's good then.
Yeah. So that's a huge thing for me.
How are they gonna find it? Or are they just gonna order a piece?
Oh no, I got the number of a place. I go into Villajuana, and they'll put a little camera, like a wire camera. They specialize in stuff like that, and they'll tell me if it's there or not. So they don't have to find it. If they're like, yo, it's stolen, I file a report that it was stolen from them, and I take it to my insurance company. I'm like, listen, like the car's been in the shop. I don't know who took it, but it's a missing piece. So it's not damage from an accident. It's from theft, and that's covered by my full coverage.
Right. And here we go. The L Alphas, the stupidities. Now, if the engine up is definitely that, especially in this day now in DR, is definitely that. Did you bring it to a shop recently, or
yeah? Remember, it was damaged.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So there was
I took it to the dealer, and they sent it to the paint shop and everywhere else, and they fucking put some holes in my fucking leather. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of shit with them. But yeah. So no, I'm gonna actually check them this week before I go to New York. I have to go to New York next week. I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna take it to a place in Villajuana on Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'm gonna have them check and to see if my catalytic converter is there. Because if that came on because of that, ya tu sabes. I don't have to pay it.
It probably took a while. Because my car, it took a while for like the check engine to come on.
Yeah, I had it for about a week and a half out of the shop, and then it lit up.
Yep. As you can see, this car had no airbags. Lots of these cars, guys, come with no airbags. And the sad part is they'll just take this car to the shop. This car right here, they take it to the shop, fix it up, sell it to you, and say clean Carfax.
Yep. But look, no airbags. I'm talking about like, yo.
Total.
No, bro, I've been in cars that have only like one or two, bro, and I'm just like, damn, bro.
Total does not exist in RD. What's a totaled car? What is that? Total? Totally can fix it? You can totally fix it, yeah. This is right by my old crib, Santiago. Yeah, right by the Burger King. Sheesh, look at this madness. Somebody probably ran a red light.
It's wild shit, man. It's really it's wild shit. That's what it is. It's wild shit. But at least you guys are more informed now, and you know what to do, what not to do, when to do it, because that all plays a part in it.
Definitely. So, like Mario said, make sure you guys are, if you're not gonna buy brand new, just buy big. Go
Imported,
mechanic.
either slightly used, sold here to U.S. standards, or what do you call it? Either slightly used, sold here to U.S. standards, or a used, imported American version. I can't tell you if it's going to be clean or not. Pay for your own Carfax and everything like that, but at least you'll have something that's got the airbags, that's got that kind of stuff. Give it regular maintenance, and just make sure you're really. I was reading watching a video, some Dominican guy. He goes Tahoe, Grand Cherokee, the Cremayer, which are like the, I don't know how to say it in English anymore. The rack and pinions, like the pinions, like the pieces that go to the wheel, but like that connect to the shocks and all that. Those things they can't see water. You got to maintain them every 3 months, otherwise they fuck up. I've had Cremayeras go out on my Ford Escape and everything like that. They can be expensive sometimes. So just good maintenance, really solid maintenance on your car here, and just get the right car. That's all I can say. Just get the right car.
What year would you recommend people start looking at for car buying in DR, and how many miles?
If they import it from the States, they're all going to have 100,000 miles. So you're fucked no matter what, right? They're all going to have 100,000 miles if they come in from the States. That's number one. Number two, what do you call it? I mean, I would try to get something no more than like 5 years old if you can afford it. Also, somebody said to me, he goes, no matter what, even if the car is a highway car, right? 100,000 miles is 100,000 miles. Shit starts to go on it, right? So what you want to do is you want to try to, your best bet here is finding a used car that's got 3 to 5 years that were only used in this country. That's got maybe like 40, 50,000 miles on it. It's work. You know what I'm saying? It's like you hunting, bro. You hunting. You out there hunting like bears and shit. It's hunting. It's definitely, they exist, but you have to hunt. Low mileage, sold in the country. I found a Benz one time, but my financing wasn't ready. Like that, a GLC. It was dope. It only had 42,000 miles, bro. You know what I mean? And it was like a 2017 or 2018 last year. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it can't happen. But the high mileage, and nothing you can do about that, man. Because if it's got low mileage, that's just gonna be mad expensive. They'll get the shit out of you for that. Run your own Carfax just to make sure, and then have a good mechanic check all the pieces, the bushings. The little things that cost a lot of money on a car.
Yeah, the mileage. Okay, we can't avoid that. For me, I just feel like now even a good mechanic could get duped, because I feel like they're
But
now just
yeah, they
finding.
got me on my Volvo. They told me the Volvo was great, and I spent more money on that car fixing it than I spent on the monthly payments on it. I'm never getting out of the Volvo again. But
Exactly.
yeah. But I mean, for the most part, the Volvo is a very finicky car. If you're buying like a Ford, a Toyota, or whatever, take it to the house if you can. Have the house check it before you buy it. If they've got a dealer for that's what I should have done. Right. But then the thing with Volvo is when it's imported from the States, I would have had to pay $800 something for the car. And then if I don't buy the car, what happens then? You get what I'm trying to say? They fuck me over. But if you buy a Toyota, you're not going to have that problem. Try to take it to the dealer.
Yeah, my problem is, like you said, buy low, like you're gonna get the low mileage. You just don't know what that car been through. You don't know what the
No.
dealer done to the car. You don't know the last.
If you're not buying new, or if you're not buying the casa that's only a couple of years old here with low mileage, you don't know what you're getting for the most part. It's Russian roulette. The best you can do is take it to a good mechanic that lifts it, looks at everything, and take it to the house. Like if you buy a Toyota, go to the Toyota dealer. If you're buying a Kia that's American standard, doesn't matter. Go to the Kia dealer here and check. You know what I mean? Magna or whoever sells them, right? Hyundai, whatever the case may be. Go to the house. See if the house. Like if you're gonna buy a Ford, go to Viamar.
Right. Raw asks Mario, looking at Los Prados for 1 year rental. What do you think?
That's nice. It's more affordable than Piantini, Naco, Bellavista. A lot of stuff going on up there. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good area. I would, I like that area. Los Prados, very convenient. Nunez got a bunch of traffic. You try to pop up on Charles Summer. But yeah, it's good. It's good. That's right by
For all
Nunez.
your
Like I said,
real
that's right
estate
there.
needs, make sure you guys hit up Mario on his Instagram. Best part about it, it's free.
Yeah,
Definitely
just
free.
hit me up. You guys can do it. Some of you guys have hit me up before. My Instagram is not just all real estate; it's just me living my crazy life out here. But you guys can hit me up whatever you need. Yeah, whatever you guys need and stuff like that. But Los Prados is cool. You'll get a better price. Like Marisa Morales, Los Prados, you'll get a better deal than you will because like I live in Piantini. Piantini is the top of the top, and then then my Bellavista is expensive. Los Casicazos, forget it, and that's all families there and stuff like that. So yeah.
Definitely. Make sure you guys check out that last real estate video we did. Check out Mark's page. Rod also asks, if you're driving in the curb lane, how fast should you be driving?
If you're driving if in the curb, what's the curb lane?
No
The
clue.
right lane. If it's the right lane, there's no rules to that here. People in the right lane do 100 miles an hour. People in the left lane do 27 miles. And there's not what one should be driving is completely different than what. However, there's nothing should here. This is just, it's Murphy's Law.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It is what it is. Yeah, you just never know.
Invest in those dash cams here, front, back, side.
I have, yeah.
And definitely got to invest
Just
in those.
The fucked up part about the dash cam, though, is you got to be careful because with the dash cam, you got to be able to try to pop that chip if you need to. Because here's the thing, the dash cam, right, it help you in a lot of situations, but also remember that you have to break driving laws here driving. So it could also get you in trouble, even though you had to do what you had to do to drive. I don't know if that makes any sense. Because you can't, like you can't like, how can I put it? You can't do normal things that you would do somewhere else here. You've got to somehow break the law at times because that's the only way around. You know, sometimes everybody's going up in one way. You got to go up with them because you're flowing with the traffic and shit you can do. You know what I mean? You're not going to go around. You're the only jerk going around. So, you know, you got to just, the dash cams do work for insurance.
You will get honked at for waiting at a red light. You will get
yelled at night if you're waiting for a red light. Yeah, people will start bugging out on you. They'll be like, yeah,
but you blow the red light. You blow the red light. You get hit. Be like, "Wait, ¿qué pasó?" Craziness. But yeah, I'm not gonna keep Mario any longer because I know he got himself a busy night ahead. But Mario, I appreciate you always. Hopefully you find your way out here to Brazil, probably in the next.
I need some do Brasil in my life. Whoa. Vai. That's what I need.
Yeah, definitely. You got to find your way out here. I'm in Sao Paulo, so whenever you're ready to shoot up, you just hit me up.
We'll talk before that anyway. I'm sure we'll throw up some other videos soon.
Oh yeah, definitely. But Mario, this channel is always open to you. Thank you, brother, for stopping by. Make sure you guys
peace and love to everybody. Whatever you guys need, you can feel free to hit me up in my DMs. I answer everybody. So
yeah, make sure you guys go check out his Instagram. It's not just real estate; it's about his crazy life. Mario lives a really crazy, fun life in Santo Domingo, Santiago.
That's why you see me some days I'm like this chilling because it's so crazy that sometimes I'm just like, okay, today I'm gonna just have a glass of rum and go to bed. I'm fucking done. People, when they see me burn out like that, it's like I go through so much shit that I'm just like, ay Dios mío, tú sabes.
That's goals, yeah. This is where that's how you want to be living when you move to the DR. Definitely.
It's fun. I have a lot of fun. I can't complain. I can never go back to the States. It is what it is. I always say one thing, right? It's theaters. And I don't know if I mentioned this to you before, right? But they're theaters, right? Like you think about World War II, right? They had the North African theater. They had the Pacific theater. They had the Russian theater. They had the European theater, right? So you pick which theater that you're gonna fight in, right? You're still at war no matter where you are in life, right? Like you pick the Brazilian theater. You're out there doing your thing over there for right now. I'm in the Dominican theater right now, right? There are people that are in the New York or the Miami theater, and they're doing their wars. And the rules of engagement change, right? If you're in North Africa and you're fighting, you're going to need different gear. You're going to fight totally different than if you're fighting in the snow with the Russians on the border of Russia, right? Or vice versa, or whatever. If you're in the Pacific theater, you have something totally different. In the jungle islands and the tropicals, when they were fighting there, they fought totally different than they did in the deserts in North Africa, for example, right? So it's war no matter what, but you just pick a different theater that suits you. Like me, if I had to go to war, I don't like mosquitoes and malaria, but I'd rather fight in the warm weather than to be sitting there freezing my ass off with a 40-pound jacket somewhere in the snow. If I had to, in life, you got to pick your theater, right? As long as you live and you're fighting, right? So you got to figure out where you want to fight, where it's best for you to fight. Some people say, all this happening there, why don't you just go back? What? I don't want to have that fight. I fought that fight for 20, 30 years. I'm done. I got new fights to fight now.
I'm glad, man. I think I'm going to do a live on people having a fear to escape their own theaters.
Let me know.
Nobody said in life you can't pick your own battlefield. And
right, and you have to. The ones that are miserable are the ones that are in the battlefield. They don't want to fight anymore. You gave up on war. You gave up on life, right? You're sitting there waiting for somebody to sniper you because you just don't care anymore because you don't like your battlefield, right? It's not exciting anymore. You're not fighting for a purpose anymore. You don't have a drive to win, to beat the other guy any longer, right? You gave up. You're just there waiting for the waves to wash you away, because that's how people live their lives. You got to pick your back. You got to pick where you want to fight, man. Pick where you want to battle. Pick.
And it's okay. I know everybody's like, listen, yo, I grew up in the States. I grew up in Florida. I grew up in New York. I can't leave. I don't want to leave. But you're just getting your ass kicked. Why don't you
We'll
go
do a
somewhere
live on
you
that
can
when you're
start
ready,
kicking
because
ass?
I talk to people all the time. We'll do another live on that. I'll talk to you about that, because I talk to people all the time. I've seen people stuck, dreaming of going here, dreaming of going there. 15 years later, 10 years later, they haven't done shit. And I'm just like, you ain't doing nothing. You're talking all of this, but you're not taking any steps. If you want to move to Hawaii, don't go on vacation to Costa Rica. You're wasting your time. Go to vacation in Hawaii and see how you like being there for a week or two.
Yeah, definitely. Get out the States altogether. Mario's IG is up. Mario from Ede. EJ Creative was good. Thank you all for watching this live. Make sure you guys like the video. For anybody who's watching after, drop a comment. Sorry you missed it, but like the video. Also, till the next live, Mario's been a pleasure as always.
Always, brother. Thank you so much for inviting me. I appreciate it.